It was impossible to tell what kind of beast it was. After putting on the auxiliary magical beast skin cloak, one could transform into various beasts, and even one's aura would be completely concealed. Although it was only a high-grade magical artifact, its effect was even better than some supreme-grade ones. The beautiful woman in purple took out a cloak with a hood and put it on. The beast skin cloak transformed her directly into a fox. Baiyu secretly activated his Heaven's Eye technique, but couldn't see any flaws. This finally piqued his interest. How much for this artifact? 1,510 spirit stones. Baiyu's brow twitched. A high-grade artifact for 1,510 spirit stones? Fellow Taoist, isn't this price a bit too outrageous?
The beautiful woman chuckled.
If you're sincere, I can give you a 20% discount. May I see the third box? Baiyu asked. The beautiful woman opened the box, revealing a piece of soft armor. The silver thread armor, a supreme-grade artifact woven from heavenly silkworm silk and blood thread silver. It has 36 defensive runes and can withstand attacks from supreme-grade artifacts. Moreover, it can automatically repair itself after being damaged. The price is 3,210 spirit stones.
After introducing the soft armor, the beautiful woman said no more.
Instead, she picked up her tea and took a sip, smiling as she looked at Baiyu. Baiyu knew this was a test of his financial strength. If he couldn't even afford the first few items, there was no point in seeing the rest. I've heard that Bai Ling Xian not only sells artifacts and treasures, but also buys various items, Baiyu said. The beautiful woman in purple smiled faintly. Indeed. What do you wish to sell? Baiyu took out 2 talismans and handed them to her.
The beautiful woman's eyes lit up. Golden blood talisman.
These are high-grade talismans, worth 80 spirit stones each. Baiyu nodded faintly. The price was a bit lower than the market rate, but it was within a reasonable range. He waved his hand, and a stack of 50 talismans appeared on the table. The beautiful woman's expression changed drastically. I didn't expect you to be such a skilled talisman master. So many high-grade talismans are truly rare. Our shop can take them all, and I'll add a 20% premium to the price for you. Only then did the beautiful woman open the last 2 boxes. The fourth treasure is an ancient body-refining weapon passed down from antiquity, the Starcloud Iron Blade, Dragon-Slaying Edge. Its quality is comparable to a magic treasure, but unfortunately, it can only be wielded with physical strength. It is a weapon, not a magical artifact. The price is 3,010 spirit stones. The blade shimmered with a cold light, exuding an aura of unparalleled sharpness. Baiyu's heart skipped a beat. To immortal cultivators, this dragon-slaying edge was a useless chicken rib, since it couldn't be powered by spiritual energy. But to a martial arts expert, it was a priceless treasure. However, he showed no trace of interest and looked directly at the final box. The beautiful woman smiled and opened the last box. This treasure is definitely something that can be used as a trump card. It's the infamous and deadly supreme-grade artifact, the Formless Needle. When activated, it's nearly invisible and incredibly fast. The beautiful woman pointed at the Formless Needle, and it rose into the air, flying back and forth. Even when Baiyu pushed his Spirit Eye technique to its limit, he could only see a faint glimmer of light. This kind of formless artifact was a notorious assassination tool in the cultivation world, perfect for sneak attacks. The beautiful woman smiled charmingly. This item is priced at 6,000 spirit stones. A supreme-grade artifact, yet the Formless Needle was almost twice as expensive as others. She looked at Baiyu. Which items would you like to buy? Baiyu said calmly, 10,000 spirit stones.
I'll take the 2 illusion pelt, the silver thread armor, and the formless needle.
Throw in that dragon-slaying edge as a bonus.
The beautiful woman's expression changed.
Fellow Taoist, if you haggle like that, we can't do business. Baiyu began to employ his grand bargaining technique. Among these, only the Formless Needle and the silver thread armor are truly useful. The 1,000 illusion pelt is barely adequate. 3,000 spirit stones is already the ceiling for a supreme-grade artifact. Your price of 6,000 is exorbitant. As for that dragon-slaying edge, it's utter trash. Besides being hard and difficult to refine, Starcloud Iron has no other use. Who would use it? I bet even if you offered it for 1,000 spirit stones, no one would buy it. After Baiyu's barrage of haggling, the beautiful woman's face changed slightly. Since you are a connoisseur, I won't inflate the price.
10,000 spirit stones it is.
But I have one condition. What condition? You must pay the entire 10,000 spirit stones with high-grade talismans. The beautiful woman looked at Baiyu with a smile. And if you have any other talismans, we will take them all at a 20% premium. Baiyu paused for a moment, then immediately understood. With the 6 great sects Tianmen's secret realm expedition approaching, the prices of talismans and artifacts were soaring, especially high-powered, high-grade talismans, which could see their prices increase by more than half. Selling them directly to her was a good choice, saving him the trouble. Expressionlessly, he waved his hand, and another stack of talismans appeared on the table. A look of joy appeared on the beautiful woman's face. Profound rank, high-grade fire Jiao talismans. The price is slightly lower than the golden blade talismans, but I will still count them as 100 spirit stones each for you. These 4 treasures are yours. Bai Yu collected the 4 boxes and asked casually, by any chance, does the madam have a recipe for the foundation establishment pill?
The beautiful woman wore en ignue it expression.
As a matter of fact, our little shop does have the foundation establishment pill recipe. It's not much of a secret, any decent-sized shop will have it. The difficult part about the foundation establishment pill isn't the recipe, but the ingredients to refine it. What is the price? Bai Yu asked.
The beautiful woman chuckled.
A recipe worth a few hundred spirit stones is nothing. I'll give it to you as a bonus. I only hope that if you have talismans to sell in the future, you'll think of our shop first. Bai Yu nodded faintly. Then I thank you for your kindness. He chatted with her for a few more minutes, took the recipe, and left the shop. Not long after he left, the maidservant behind the beautiful woman whispered, Madam, that man's cultivation isn't high, yet he's so wealthy. Why not find an opportunity to secretly take care of him? The beautiful woman snorted coldly. Buyer, if you don't want to die, I advise you to get rid of that thought immediately. This is the time of the 6 great sects' secret realm competition. If even one disciple dies, the 6 great sects will surely investigate to the end. That man is definitely a disciple of the 6 great sects, and a talisman master of the 3rd grade or higher at that. Do you think the sects would let it go? If you want to seek death, fine, but don't drag our Bai Ling Xian down with you.
Bière Stuckautertongue.
I understand, madam. Meanwhile, Bai Yu had already left the market square. In a deserted area, he transformed into a skinny young man and wandered around for a bit before returning to the Leiyang sect. For the next 6 months, he didn't leave the sect gates, focusing on his training and mastering his new artifacts and treasures. 6 months later, the once-in-a-century Tianmen secret realm expedition finally arrived. The Leiyang sect selected 3,000 disciples. Before setting out, each disciple was given a bag. Bai Yu opened his storage bag and found a high-grade artifact, 10 disposable magic treasures called Thunderfire pellets, as well as jade bone pills, purifying water talismans, detoxification powder, and other items. The Leiyang sect was truly sending its disciples to risk their lives, but it also genuinely cared for them. To make a grand display, the sect dispatched a thundersteel galleon. This massive ship, 1,000 feet high like a mountain, crackled with rolling thunder as it sailed majestically towards the Tianmen secret realm. On the galleon, Liu Beichen sighed. It seems the sect is taking this Tianmen secret realm extremely seriously, even bringing out a weapon of war like the thundersteel galleon to intimidate the other 5 sections. Bai Yu asked curiously, Old Liu, with your status, do you still need to participate in this? Couldn't your father pull some strings for you? Liu Beichen looked helpless. My foolish father detests such backdoor dealings. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had to join the sect through the flying immortal platform. He looked like he was lamenting his father's lack of ambition. It's all my father's fault for not working hard enough. If he became a nascent soul ancestor, I could be bullying men and women everywhere and causing trouble. But now, I don't even have a wretched arranged marriage. I have to fight to the death for a foundation establishment pill. Is there any justice in this world? Beside them, Shijian said, Old Liu, with your physical condition, you should just forget about getting a wife. If you really marry one, you'll be wearing a huge green hat. While bantering with Liu and Shi, Bai Yu scanned his surroundings. Among the 3,000 disciples, he saw a few familiar faces. Ho Haitao was there, his cultivation having surprisingly reached the 10th level of Qi refinement. Normally, Qi refinement had only 9 levels, but occasionally, a 9th level cultivator attempting to break through to foundation establishment might enter a state of being successful, but not completely. Their realm would be elevated, but instead of entering the foundation establishment stage, they would enter the 10th level of Qi refinement. This meant Ho Haitao had already attempted to break through once but failed. Yet, he was unwilling to give up and was entering the secret realm to try his luck again. Ho Haitao's dedication to the Tao was admirable. When Ho Haitao saw Bai Yu, he smiled, nodded, and made a victory gesture. In fact, many members of the Tianqing society had joined this expedition to fight for a chance at foundation establishment. In a corner, Bai Yu also saw Ling Yun. He looked disheveled and inconspicuous, with a sleepy white fox perched on his shoulder. However, Bai Yu sensed a hint of danger from him. Besides them, Bai Yu saw many powerful older disciples. These were likely Changjia from previous generations, also here to risk their lives for a foundation establishment pill. Some had even reached the 12th level of Qi refinement.
A sense of deep vigilance rose in Bai Yu's heart.
This trip to the secret realm was likely far more dangerous than he had imagined.
The Thundersteel Galleon flew through the clouds for 3 full days and nights before reaching the so-called Tianmen Mountain.
It consisted of 2 opposing peaks, so steep and straight in the middle that it looked as if they had been split by a single sword strike. Just as the disciples of the Leiyang sect were setting up camp, a giant azure dragon made of countless flying swords appeared in the sky. The disciples of the Tai sword sect rode upon this sword dragon, speeding towards them. At the dragon's head stood a rugged swordsman, proud and imposing. Liu Beichen sighed. Now there's a show to watch. The unyielding swordsman is here too. He and the 100 battles raging thunder, lie lazy, have been bitter rivals for hundreds of years. That unyielding swordsman carried a giant sword on his back. The sword's name was Righteousness, and its killing intent was aimed directly at Lai Lazy. Lai Lazy snorted, his body crackling with lightning as he leaped into the void, resembling a thunder god descending to the mortal world. The unyielding swordsman shouted, Qin Ergu, come and fight me for 300 rounds. Lai Lazy roared back like thunder, Zhao Taizhu, it looks like your skin is itching for a beating.
You want my violet raging thunder, are to loosen you up.
Below, Bai Yu was dumbfounded. 100 battles raging thunder was Qin Ergu? The unyielding swordsman was Zhao Taizhu? Something about this felt completely off. Just then, a cry of a crane echoed from the horizon. A group of female cultivators in plain white robes arrived, riding on immortal cranes. Liu Beichen was practically drooling. They're here, they're here. The fairies of the Su Nu sect have arrived. Bai Yu looked up and saw the sky filled with a sea of white. A group of female cultivators, ethereal and graceful, descended on their cranes. Slender, plump, elegant, and beautiful, they were a truly breathtaking sight. Liu Beichen, still drooling, said, They say the fairies of the Su Nu sect are peerlessly beautiful, and now I see it's true.
I wonder if elle be Lucie neuf to see the Moonchan Fairy.
Bai Yu's brow twitched.
Moonchan Fairy?
Who's that? Liu Beichen, his eyes glued to the sky, didn't even look at Bai Yu. You don't even know the Moonchan Fairy? She's one of the two most prominent figures of the younger generation among the 6 sections. She possesses the pure moon body. She joined the Su Nu sect decades ago, and in less than 30 years, her strength soared to the peak of Foundation establishment. She's considered one of the most likely to reach the Golden Core stage. Bai Yu's heart stirred. That sounds a bit like Su Yuechan. The timeline also roughly matches. Could it be such a coincidence? Beside him, Shi asked, What's wrong, old Bai?
You veux meilleur. Meilleur?
I almost slept with her.
Liu Beichen gave Bai Yu the middle finger. Old Bai, keep bragging.
The line of suitors chasing the Moonchan Fairy could stretch for 10 miles. It would never be your turn. Bai Yu chuckled. Then who's the other one? Liu Beichen said, the Gale Sword Immortal of the Tai Sword sect, Du Jian. Though his cultivation speed isn't as astonishing, he once challenged a Golden Core expert while at the Foundation establishment realm. Although he didn't win, he exchanged over 100 blows and retreated unharmed. Shi said, Old Bai, don't tell me you know the Gale Sword Immortal too. Bai Yu thought for a moment and said seriously, this one I've really slept with. Both Shi and Liu Beichen shot him disdainful looks. Liu Beichen, still watching the beauties, said, Old Bai, you can't even brag properly. The Moonchan Fairy is one thing, it's just your word against ours, and no one has proof. But that Gale Sword Immortal is famous for being cold and ruthless. He'd draw his sword even against a Golden Core expert. Who would dare provoke him? At that moment, the pressure emanating from Lai Lazy and the unyielding swordsman grew stronger and stronger, neither willing to back down. Just as they were about to fight, a soft laugh echoed in the sky. Big brothers Lai Lazy and Qiu Ran, you two have fought for hundreds of years without a clear winner. Aren't you tired yet? A shower of flower petals appeared out of thin air between the two men, and a graceful figure emerged from within. It was a young woman in palace attire with a face like a peach blossom. The tense atmosphere between the two men immediately dissipated. Lai Lazy snorted. My greatest pleasure in life is to electrocute that stupid donkey Zhao Taizhu. The unyielding swordsman snorted back. And I most enjoy chopping up that scoundrel Qin Ergu. The palace-garbed woman giggled, her body swaying like a flower. Big brothers, you've fought for hundreds of years without a victor.
There's no point in fighting anymore.
Since the disciples of the 6 sects are going to be ranked again anyway, why not compete to see whose disciples gain the most in the secret realm? After every Tianmen's secret realm expedition, the 6 sects would redivide their various interests based on the rankings. To some extent, the strength of the disciples represented the foundation of the sect. Competing in this way could determine a winner without causing serious injury. This was also why the Leiyang sect had allowed its disciples to consume the Shouwang Dan. The unyielding swordsman glanced down. Butterfly Fairy, what's with the Leiyang sect's disciples this time? Why are they all so powerful, all at the 8th or 9th level?
Li les lo d'artillerie.
Zhao Taizhu, if you're scared, just admit defeat to me now. The unyielding swordsman was furious. Bullshit.
You think I'm afraid of you?
Your Leiyang sect may have its tricks, but do you think my Tai Sword sect doesn't have its own trump cards? We'll see who's stronger when it comes down to it. The beautiful woman from the palace, however, just smiled. I'd advise you two not to just stare at each other. The other sects have come prepared this time. The Great Chan Monastery has sent a group of ascetic monks who cultivate their physical bodies. The strongest among them is already at the 16th level of Qi refinement. Dan Dingo bought a batch of spirit beasts from the Myriad Longevity Mountain in the northern Qi Kingdom a few years ago. And don't even get me started on the Tiangong men, their automatons have always had a great advantage in the secret realm. Hearing this, both Lai Lazy and the unyielding swordsman's expressions changed. Lai Lazy said, "It seems, Butterfly Dance Fairy, that your Su Nu sect has also prepared its fair share of trump cards."
The palace garbed women smiled without a word.
The three golden core sovereigns in the sky ceased their hostilities and landed on the ground. With a wave of their hands, they used their great power to erect a palace and waited quietly for the other major powers to arrive. Within a few days, the Tiangong men, Dandinggu, and the Great Chan Monastery all arrived one by one. Even by Luo City sent a team, though they only had 1,000 spots, while the other sects each had 3,000. At this time, Baiyu stood under a large tree, silently observing the disciples from the various sections. The more he looked, the more shocked he became. 9th-level Qi refinement cultivators were a dime a dozen. There were even a good number of 11th and 12th level cultivators. This was especially true for the Great Chan Monastery. There was a group of barefoot monks whose auras were as deep as an abyss. The strongest among them was practically on par with a foundation establishment expert. A 7th-level Qi refinement cultivator like Baiyu was, in this crowd, second to none. In being at the bottom. Baiyu's gaze swept over the Su Nu sex group, where he saw a long-legged female cultivator with a beautiful face and a valiant bearing. She bore a 7 to 8 tenths resemblance to Su Yuechan. The long-legged woman sensed his gaze and looked over, but she didn't seem to recognize him. However, a man in a cloak next to her stared intently at Baiyu. Even through the cloak's veil, his intense gaze could be felt. Baiyu offered an apologetic smile. He figured they were a couple, and the cloaked man had misunderstood his intentions towards his partner.
Baiyu shook his head.
There are many similar-looking people in the world. This female cultivator just happens to resemble Su Yuechan.
What are the chances?
Besides, with so many outstanding male cultivators in the immortal path, after not seeing her for decades, Su Yuechan might not even remember me. Baiyu cleared the distracting thoughts from his mind and continued to size up his many opponents, committing to memory those who looked difficult to deal with. A few days later, when the sun was at its zenith, the unyielding swordsman shouted, "The time has come. Watch me open the heavenly gate with a single sword strike." The giant sword righteousness on his back hummed and unleashed 100-foot-long sword light. In an instant, the light shot towards the gap between the two peaks of Tianmen Mountain with the sound of wind and thunder. With a deafening boom, it was as if a curtain in the middle of Tianmen Mountain was instantly torn open, revealing a whole new world. That opening, as if alive, began to heal rapidly. Seeing this, Lai Lazy also shouted, "Behold my raging thunder pellets." He waved his hand and shot out 9 purple thunderballs, tearing the opening even wider. The other 5 golden core sovereigns also used their own techniques to stabilize the opening.
At this moment, the butterfly dance fairy of the Su Nu sect shouted. What are you waiting for?
This entrance will only last for an hour. Enter the secret realm quickly. The realm will open again in 3 months.
Remembez tout comme out in time.
In an instant, countless disciples surged towards the opening. The Tianmen secret realm was opened, and countless disciples swarmed in. Seeing that most people had gone, Baiyu also blended into the crowd and flew into the entrance. He felt a dizzying sensation, and by the time he came to his senses, he was already in another space. Without a second thought, he slapped a pile of talismans onto his body and then fastened a phoenix-patterned ancient mirror. Only after ensuring his safety did he begin to survey his surroundings. The area was filled with tall pine trees that blotted out the sun. The air was rich with spiritual energy. A single breath made him feel refreshed. Baiyu activated his tortoise snake spirit concealment art, retracting his entire aura and spiritual energy fluctuations. Then he applied a shadowless talisman to his body, making himself almost transparent, leaving only a faint, blurry outline. After doing all this, he leaped onto a treetop and began to observe his surroundings. It was a dense forest all around, with only a particularly tall tree a few hundred feet to the southeast that was so large it seemed like a forest in itself. Looks like I've been transported to the Black Pine Forest.
D'ici sont the outer edge of the Secret Realm.
That unique pine tree produces some wood spirit Ganoderma, which are quite valuable. Recalling the information from the jade slip given by the sect, Baiyu quickly determined his location. He didn't use any flashy techniques, but instead used his cloud-stepping lightness skill to leap between the trees. His movements were more agile and lighter than a spirit monkey, landing on the branches with almost no sound. Soon, he arrived near the unique pine tree. On its trunk grew several emerald-green fungi. Wood spirit Ganoderma, a profound-rank high-grade spiritual item, could be used to refine Zhiyong pills. A 50-year-old wood spirit Ganoderma was worth several hundred spirit stones, and these ones looked to be nearly 100 years old, their price certainly much higher. As expected of the Tianmen secret realm, even a random spot has high-grade treasures. Baiyu was tempted, but he didn't move. Instead, he fully concealed his aura and hid on a pine branch. Time ticked by, with only the rustling of the wind in the trees.
Before long, a woman in green cloth emerged from the woods.
She warily looked back, her left hand holding a few spirit talismans and her right hand on a high-grade artifact. She saw the wood spirit Ganoderma, and a flash of joy crossed her eyes. After scanning the area, she suddenly called out, "Come out. I see you." Bai Yu was slightly startled, but seeing that her gaze wasn't directed at him, he knew she hadn't discovered him. The surroundings remained empty, with no one responding. The green-clothed woman, however, became extremely vigilant and began to retreat back the way she came. This woman is quite clever, Bai Yu thought. She's decisive enough to retreat when something feels wrong. Just then, the green-clothed woman transformed into a streak of green light and shot towards the unique pine tree. With a swift grab, she plucked 2 of the wood spirit Ganoderma. It turned out the woman hadn't actually discovered anyone. Her earlier act was just a bluff to flush out any potential enemies. Suddenly, disaster struck. A withered vine wrapped around the unique pine tree sprang to life, tightly binding the green-clothed woman. The woman was shocked. She formed a hand seal, and a small white dagger flew out, trying to cut the vines. At that moment, a large mound in the thick layer of dead leaves under the tree bulged. A horse-faced man burst out from the leaves and with a single thrust of his sword, pierced the green-clothed woman's throat. He cackled.
This little bitch d'arrête toutes les mind gamewisme.
He collected the wood spirit Ganoderma and the woman's storage bag. Suddenly, his gaze fell on the woman's face and lingered. Damn, this little bitch is quite a looker. I can have some fun while she's still warm. Saying this, he actually started to remove the green-clothed woman's clothes, revealing pale flesh. But just then, a red dot appeared on his brow. A faint glimmer of light shot out from his forehead. If someone had sharp enough eyes, they would see that the glimmer of light was a transparent short needle. Bai Yu dropped down from the tree. He quickly collected both storage bags, then took out several vials of potions and sprinkled them out. Corpse-dissolving water, bone-melting powder, body-liquefying fluid, and finally, a purifying blood talisman to disperse the baleful energy. After this series of actions, the 2 bodies vanished without a trace, as if they had never existed. After finishing all this, Bai Yu leaped onto a treetop and went far away, finding a safe place to rest. He began to check the 2 storage bags. The green-clothed woman was from the Myriad Pills Pavilion. Her bag was full of bottles and jars, as well as a lost classic on spirit medicines. The horse-faced man was from Bailuo City. His storage bag had a good number of talismans. Of course, the most valuable items were the 5 wood spirit Ganoderma. Bai Yu placed the wood spirit Ganoderma in a jade box, picked out a few useful items, and stuffed the rest into a new storage bag. He couldn't use the original 2 storage bags, lest their sects find out. However, the horse-faced man's actions of defiling the corpse served as a wake-up call for Bai Yu. The Tianmen's secret realm was a lawless land where all morality and ethics were non-existent. The only order was slaughter. Bai Yu's eyes gleamed with determination. Since I've come to the Tianmen's secret realm, I must fight for a few more foundation establishment pills to prepare for my future breakthrough. Thinking of this, Bai Yu summoned Laumo. Time to get to work. Woof. In just a few short days, slaughter spread throughout the secret realm. In a valley, a barefoot monk held his palms together, chanting Buddhist scriptures. In front of him lay the bodies of several third-ranked jade water pythons. In a certain forest, several disciples from the Tiangong men released their automatons and surrounded a female cultivator from the Su Nu sect, laughing lewdly. But in the next moment, the woman's sword flashed like a dragon, and a storm of sword light instantly slaughtered the Tiangong men disciples. In a cave, a dozen or so black-robed cultivators gathered. Their leader spoke in a low voice. We've snuck in under the guise of Bailuo City.
Are the mission objectif clear?
The other black-robed cultivators nodded.
Understood, second young master, rest assured.
We will do our utmost to assist the young lord. We've brought 18 blood demon blades this time. We will surely succeed. On a large tree, Ling Yun spoke to the white fox on his shoulder. Old Gu, is what I need really in here. The white fox spoke in a human voice, of course. As long as you succeed, I'm confident I can help you form your golden core. Then you can go back and get your revenge. Ling Yun sneered. I've endured humiliation and played the fool just for this day. No one pays much attention to a dispirited failure. Only then can I achieve my goals without anyone knowing. For a time, the entire secret realm was plunged into a bloody storm.
Slaughter spread like wildfire.
And at this time, Bai Yu finally found his target for this trip, the pill beasts. The Tianmen's secret realm only opened once every 100 years, but many spirit herbs had very short maturation periods, some withering in just a few months, or even a day or two. Thus, the ancient cultivators came up with a brilliant idea. They bred a type of demonic beast called pill beasts. These beasts could distinguish various spirit herbs, swallow them, absorb their medicinal power, and condense it into a beast core pill. This not only perfectly preserved the medicinal power but also absorbed the essence of the demonic beast. Later generations who entered the Tianmen's secret realm only needed to kill the beasts and take the pills, then they could refine them into real elixirs. The wisdom of the ancients was truly astounding. Bai Yu looked into the distance. There was a cliff, and on its steep rock face, a mountain goat was walking as if on flat ground. A horn-tipped antelope, a second-ranked demonic beast. This antelope had a black pattern on its forehead. According to the information in the sect's jade slip, It must have eaten at least one black pear fruit. The black pear fruit was one of the 5 main ingredients for refining the Foundation Establishment pill. This meant that by killing this goat, he could obtain a beast core condensed from one of the main ingredients of the Foundation Establishment pill. Just then, the sharp sound of something cutting through the air came from the nearby forest. Swish! Swish! A monk's staff and an arrow simultaneously struck the antelope, pinning it to the rock wall. Immediately after, 2 groups of people emerged from the forest. One side was sword cultivators from the Tai sword sect, the other was monks from the Great Chan Monastery. The leading monk put his palms together.
Amitabha.
This demonic beast has an affinity with our Buddha. Esteemed patrons, please return. The sword cultivators on the other side were immediately angered. Baldy, we clearly discovered it first. You're the ones who should scram. The head monk said, spirit pills and spirit materials are worldly possessions. Esteemed patrons are too attached. Why not let them go? It is not known to my Buddha. The sword cultivators were so angry they almost laughed. Baldy, since they're worldly possessions, why don't you give them up? Give these worldly possessions to us. The head monk replied with a straight face, donating to monks and offering to the Buddha is a great merit. These worldly possessions are all karmic obstacles. Allow this poor monk to bear this karma for you. When it came to verbal sparring, the monks of the Great Chan Monastery were professionals. The disciples of the Tai sword sect knew they couldn't win the argument, so they directly formed a sword formation and charged forward with their flying swords. In an instant, the sky was filled with silver dragons and long rainbows of light. The monks of the Great Chan Monastery were not to be outdone, raising their kasayas, monk staffs, and other artifacts to fight with the Tai sword sect disciples.
The two sid fugt fiercely, looked in astalmat.
Just then, no one noticed a strange rock on the cliff face moving silently. The next moment, that rock transformed into a person in a yellow earth-colored robe. He snatched the antelope into his storage bag, then leaped up the cliff face. At the top of the cliff, a white fox riding a flying sword was waiting. The person leaped onto the flying sword. No time to explain, get in the car.
The man and the fox sped away.
The man was none other than Bai Yu, and the white fox was Lao Mo, transformed using the 1000 illusion pelt. The 2 warring factions below were stunned. They were in the heat of battle, and someone had just stolen the prize from under their noses. Both sides were furious and gave chase on their flying treasures. The leading sword cultivator shouted, "Which rat is that? Do you dare to state your name?" Bai Yu gave them the middle finger. "I won't change my name or my surname. Today I, Ling Yun of the Leiyang sect, have robbed you. What are you going to do about it?" He stomped on the flying sword, which shot forward like a lightning bolt, leaving the 2 groups far behind. Half a day later, Bai Yu and Lao Mo landed in a tree hollow.
Eh, Lao Mo, look. One pill beast. Let's see what is so special about these things.
Bai Yu took out the horn-tipped antelope and with a swift cut, retrieved a beast core from its abdomen. The core was the size of a pigeon's egg, entirely black with several distinct, colorful patterns. Bai Yu marveled at it. Ha! This antelope must have eaten at least 2 black pear fruits and 4 or 5 other spirit herbs. If I can just gather the other 4 types of spirit pills, I can refine a Foundation Establishment pill. Lao Mo was also stunned, amazed by the methods of the ancient cultivators to have bred such a wondrous creature as the pill beast. Bai Yu chuckled. Since we're here, we have to get a few more Foundation Establishment pills. Then we can become Foundation Establishment experts too. Lao Mo nodded eagerly, full of anticipation. After reaching Foundation Establishment, he would possess true fire, and his artifact refining skills would surely improve greatly. Bai Yu smirked.
From now on, Ling Yun will go a killing spree.
Earlier, Ling Yun had shown killing intent towards Bai Yu, which had put him on alert. That guy was hiding in the Leiyang sect, probably with ulterior motives. Coincidentally, Ling Yun had brought a white fox with him, so Bai Yu and Lao Mo could perfectly borrow his identity. Before long, a fearsome duo appeared in the secret realm, a man and a fox. They were elusive and committed all sorts of evil deeds, from sneak attacks and ambushes to trickery and theft, causing chaos among the cultivators. Many cultivators would be walking along, and suddenly everything would go black. When they woke up, they would find themselves stripped clean of all their valuables. The name of the dream-stealing immortal, Ling Yun, soon spread throughout the outer regions of the Tianmen secret realm. As for the real Ling Yun, he found himself being chased by large groups of people for no reason. He couldn't figure out why everyone looked at him as if he had desecrated their ancestral graves. He now didn't dare to show his face, forced to change his appearance and keep a low profile. At this time, Bai Yu had reverted to his original appearance. The number of people in the secret realm was increasing, making it harder to ambush them. So, he turned his attention to the pill beasts. First stop, Immortal Peach Ridge, where a group of second-rank sword-leaping macaques resided. Bai Yu looked at the peach tree-covered mountain and felt a headache coming on. There were 200 to 300 of these sword-leaping macaques, including many strong third-rank ones. This was, after all, the outer region of the secret realm, and places that produced main ingredients for the Foundation Establishment pill were rare. Immortal Peach Ridge was one such place. The only problem was the sheer number of macaques, who were also incredibly agile, able to leap dozens of feet in a single bound. Basically, no one bothered them. Cultivators entering the secret realm would rather go to the central region to find richer rewards. Bai Yu's mind raced, and he suddenly had an idea. He whispered a few words to Lao Mo, whose eyes lit up as he nodded repeatedly. Half an hour later, Lao Mo came running back from outside, a small green wolf cub in his mouth. Behind him, a large pack of green wolves, the size of calves, was in hot pursuit. Lao Mo leaped a few times, dove into Immortal Peach Ridge, and disappeared. The wolves, furious, howled and charged into the ridge. The sword-leaping macaques on the ridge were disturbed and swarmed out to fight the green wolves. At this time Bai Yu, having concealed his form, silently made his way towards the macaques' dwelling cave. Bai Yu silently infiltrated the cave where the sword-leaping macaques lived. Most of the macaques had been drawn out by the wolf pack, leaving only a few old and weak ones resting inside. Bai Yu completely suppressed his aura, and with the help of the shadowless talisman, he was practically invisible to the naked eye. He walked slowly through the cave. On the surrounding stone walls grew stalks of spirit grass, each topped with a bell-shaped fruit. Bai Yu was secretly overjoyed. Wind bellgrass, a earth-rank, low-grade spirit herb, one of the 5 main ingredients for the Foundation Establishment pill. However, most of these wind bellgrasses aren't mature yet. The mature ones must have been eaten by the macaques. If I can take care of them, I'll definitely get a lot of beast cores. Bai Yu didn't stop, but continued deeper inside. Soon, he reached the central cave. In the middle of the cave was a bowl-shaped giant rock, filled with a pile of spirit fruits. Beside the rock was a small hole from which liquid occasionally dripped into a small pool below. A rich aroma of wine wafted from the pool. Bai Yu's heart leaped with joy. Monkey wine. It's actually this legendary spirit wine. Legend had it that spirit monkeys passed down a brewing technique from generation to generation, and the wine they made was called monkey wine. The pool of monkey wine before him was fragrant, golden in color, and rich in spiritual energy. Its quality was even higher than the 100-flower honey wine, a high-grade spirit wine. Bai Yu's eyes darted around, and he immediately had a plan. He took out a green bottle from his robes. It was a high-grade sedative, Mi Jiao San. This sedative was concocted from 9 types of poisons and was said to be able to knock out a flood dragon. Bai Yu had tested it a few times. It was more than enough to take down a 3rd-rank demonic beast. This single bottle had cost him several hundred spirit stones. Bai Yu silently added half a bottle of Mi Jiao San to the monkey wine, then found a corner and used the petrification art. His entire body flattened against the stone wall, completely blending in with the surroundings. He waited patiently. Over an hour later, a cacophony of shouts came from outside. A robust Monkey King led his subordinates into the cave. Having defeated the green wolf pack, the Monkey King was overjoyed and rewarded his generals with a drink of monkey wine. The Monkey King himself used a leaf as a cup and drank 3 in a row, then drunkenly slumped onto a stone chair to rest. Seeing this, the other sword-leaping macaques swarmed forward, all vying to drink the monkey wine with leaf cups. Before long, the cave was littered with monkeys, all passed out drunk. Only then did Bai Yu slowly reveal himself. He raised his hand, first casting several soundproofing and soul-bewitching talismans, then setting up a few formations. After adding several layers of insurance, he grinned. Hee hee, today I am a glorious surgeon, here to perform surgery and remove your gallstones. He approached the Monkey King, a small knife appearing in his hand. The knife swiftly sliced across the Monkey King's abdomen, and he then picked out a longan-sized green beast core. First one, a wood attribute 5-element beast core, secured. The Monkey King remained on the stone chair, completely unconscious. Bai Yu even thoughtfully used a rejuvenation spell to heal the Monkey King's wound. Next, he continued his work, removing the gallstones from all the 3rd-rank demonic monkeys. Any monkey with a beast core in its body could not escape his knife. He obtained over a dozen beast cores, 4 of which contained the medicinal power of the wood attribute wind bellgrass. Bai Yu was satisfied. He also harvested all the mature spirit herbs from the stone walls and finally packed up all the monkey wine. As for the macaques themselves, he didn't touch them. Not all demonic beasts were valuable. Only those useful to the human race were worth anything. Some beasts, though only 1st rank, were priceless, while others, even at 3rd rank, were worth less than a common 1st-rank beast. The sword-leaping macaques were of the worthless kind. He was better off spending his time looking for a few more beast cores. Half a day after Bai Yu left, the macaques in the cave gradually woke up. The Monkey King pondered for 3 days and 3 nights, but could not figure out who had stolen his beast core while he was asleep. From then on, the Monkey King led his troop to the other side of Immortal Peach Ridge, and this cave became a taboo place for the entire monkey clan. Whenever a newborn monkey tried to explore the cave, the old monkeys would stop them with a heavy heart, saying, "Don't go in there. They harvest your kidneys." And the perpetrator of all this, Bai Yu, was in a cave with Lao Mo, counting their spoils. Lao Mo, we're rich. We're rich. 19 beast cores, 4 of which are the wood spirit cores needed for the Foundation Establishment pill. plus 12 spirit herbs and 2 gourds of monkey wine. Lao Mo, half of this is thanks to you. Lao Mo grinned from ear to ear. As long as he could help Bai Yu, he was happier than if he'd eaten a bag of chips. After resting for a night, Bai Yu took Lao Mo and headed towards the middle layer of the secret realm. Before long, he saw 2 giant mountain peaks in the distance. Bai Yu's expression turned serious as he recalled the information in his mind. A line of sky, one of the few passages into the middle layer of the secret realm. Flanked by towering peaks, with a corpse-devouring astral wind at the top that can shred the protective spiritual light of a Foundation establishment cultivator. The upper part is also inhabited by a group of third-rank bone-clinging vultures. One can only pass through on foot at the bottom. This canyon is one of the easiest places to be ambushed. It wasn't impossible to go around, but it would take more time, and the other entrances to the middle layer were just as dangerous. Since he was here, Bai Yu was determined to explore the middle layer. The secret realm was divided into 3 layers, outer, middle, and core. Most of the valuable medicinal herbs and beast cores were in the middle layer. As for the core layer, it was not a place that chi refinement cultivators like them could enter. Bai Yu pondered for a moment, first recalling Lao Mo into his spirit beast pouch, then steeling himself and walking into the canyon. He had several shadowless talismans on him, and his tortoise snake spirit concealment art was running at full capacity. He looked like nothing more than a barely perceptible shimmer. He proceeded along the path, which was surprisingly calm and uneventful. He was more than halfway through, about to exit the canyon, and Bai Yu couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief.
On some out of this line of Sky Canyon. The world is my oyster.
But just then, he felt his hand touch something. He looked down and saw an almost invisible bamboo thread. Shit. Bai Yu was shocked. He leaped up, kicked off the wall several times, and instantly jumped dozens of feet away. The next moment, several Tungning earth spikes erupted from where he had been standing. If Bai Yu had reacted a moment slower, he would have been impaled. Bai Yu looked and saw a black-robed figure had appeared both in front of and behind him. They were covered in black robes and black veils, revealing only their eyes. Both were at the 9th level of chi refinement. The black-robed man in front of Bai Yu was built like a short, stout barrel. He cackled, "The 8th prey. This is the 8th prey." The stout, black-robed man in front grinned strangely. The black-robed man behind Bai Yu was as thin as a bamboo pole. He said coldly, "A pity it's just a small fry at the 7th level of chi refinement. Old Xiao, I'll leave this little shrimp to you."
He can't be betrayed. The stout, black-robed man looked strangely.
Sure.
It's my turn to stretch my line.
Seeing this, Bai Yu hurriedly said, "Seniors, please wait. I can hand over all my belongings if you spare my life." As he spoke, he took out several stalks of wood spirit Ganoderma. "These are all spirit herbs I picked outside. Can I trade them for my life?"
The stout, black-robed man looked heartily.
"You sect disciples are truly pure and stupid. Under normal circumstances, we might have spared you. But this time, we don't just want your spirit herbs and beast cores. We also want your flesh and blood essence." Bai Yu's face turned pale with fear.
Flesh and blood essence?
Are you demonic cultivators?" The stout, black-robed man chuckled. "That's right. Not only your flesh and blood, but your soul is also of great use to us." He greatly enjoyed watching others in fear, like a cat toying with a mouse. Watching his enemies die in terror was a form of entertainment. Once a person was afraid, they couldn't even exert half of their strength. This kid was clearly a greenhorn and looked like he had already lost his nerve. Bai Yu hastily retreated a few steps. "Wait.
Don't attack yet. I have a small request.
After you kill me, can you give me a proper burial?" At this point, he was less than 20 feet away from the tall, thin cultivator behind him. The stout cultivator was almost amused. This kid was truly a fool, a greenhorn raised in the ivory tower of a sect, ignorant of the dangers of the world. On the other side, the tall, thin black-robed cultivator said, "Old Xiao, stop toying with the kid. Business is more important. Send him on his way." Bai Yu, looking terrified, retreated a few more steps. But isn't it a rule of the martial world to grant a proper burial? It's just a small favor.
Can't you do it?
If it were me, I would definitely give you a burial. Can you? The stout cultivator laughed. "I can." As he spoke, he raised a skull artifact. But at that moment, Bai Yu grinned, revealing 2 rows of white teeth. "Then you can go die." The next moment, he suddenly hugged himself, turned, and charged towards the tall, thin cultivator. Like a thunderbolt, Bai Yu leaped across a dozen feet in an instant. A silver long blade appeared in his hand, its sides engraved with dragons, shimmering with a star-like light. It was the ancient body-refining divine weapon, the dragon-slaying edge. The dragon-slaying edge erupted with a 10-foot-long blade light, transforming into a silver torrent as it slashed down. His speed was so incredible that the tall, thin cultivator only had time to activate an earth prison talisman. With a hiss, the light screen formed by the talisman was shattered by the blade light, and the cultivator was sliced in 2. Blood rained down.
One slash, 1 burial.
For a great martial arts master, a distance of 20 feet was a kill zone. On the other side, the stout cultivator was dumbfounded. From Bai Yu's charge to the kill, it had only been the blink of an eye. In just a flash, a cultivator of the same level as him was dead. A chill ran down his spine. He shouted, "You vile thief, die." A white bone armor emerged from his body, encasing him completely, leaving only his eyes exposed. Then, a dark red long blade appeared in his hand. The blade flashed with a bloody light and became coated in a viscous layer of blood as he swung it at Bai Yu's head. A foul stench filled the air. Bai Yu pointed in front of him, and a phoenix-patterned ancient mirror appeared. The mirror erupted with a clear, shimmering light and met the blood-red blade. A series of metallic clashes rang out as blood-colored energy churned and clear light radiated. Each time the blood-red blade struck, it left a trail of viscous blood. The mirror's protective light was actually being corroded, making a sizzling sound. Fortunately, the phoenix-patterned ancient mirror was a supreme-grade artifact, and its protective light was able to withstand the assault. A lesser artifact would have been corroded and destroyed in no time. The stout cultivator's face paled when he saw his blood-red blade being blocked. A supreme-grade defensive artifact. And he can kill a 9th-level cultivator in one slash. This enemy is definitely not to be trifled with. He unhesitatingly recalled his long blade, which transformed into a streak of blood-red light as he turned to flee. But just then, a black ball flew through the air and smashed into the stout cultivator. The moment the black ball hit, it erupted in a dazzling golden light. That's right, it was Lao Mo who had acted. After years of diligent chi refinement, Lao Mo had refined a ball. No, a spherical flying sword that could fly. The sword smashed into the black-robed cultivator but couldn't even break his defense. However, the golden light that erupted upon impact blinded the cultivator. His eyes stung, and he instinctively shut them. At that moment, Bai Yu executed the dragon sword divine movement technique, transforming into a red streak of light and closing the distance in an instant. Without stopping, he charged forward, his dragon-slaying edge flashing with a cold light. The black-robed cultivator was cut in two and fell from the sky. Blood rained down.
Another burial. One more 9th level cultivator sans off.
Bai Yu didn't hesitate. First, he delivered a finishing blow, then he cleaned the battlefield, dug a pit for burial, desecrated the grave, used corpse-dissolving water, a soul-destroying talisman, and a purifying talisman. He was extremely practiced in this routine. The storage bags of these two contained a messy pile of artifacts and pills. It seemed they had robbed and killed quite a few cultivators. All in all, the loot was quite valuable.
Dust to dust, earth to earth, from the Yellow Springs there is no return. Burial target. Salle, type forchesa, bloodfien, identity, bloodfien démon secte disciple.
Cultivation, 9th level chi refinement.
Technical reward, water spirit route +5. Life experience, 250,000.
Optional rewards, blood fiend grand art, 9 turns wind demon art, 1 year of cultivation, 100 herbs art, demon pearl cultivation technique. Burial participation, 62%. One additional reward can be chosen. Bai Yu frowned, realizing things were not so simple.
Bloodfien démon secte.
If I remember correctly, the rebel General Li Xian in Jiang City was also from the Blood Fiend Demon Sect. But I've searched through countless records and haven't found any mention of a Blood Fiend Demon Sect in the Li Kingdom. However, there was a small surprise. Bai Yu discovered a secret technique called the 9 turns wind demon art. It was an advanced version of the Blood Fiend 9 turns he knew. By burning essence, blood, spiritual energy, and lifespan, one could temporarily erupt with immense power. Each layer cost 10 years of lifespan to cultivate, but the effect was astonishing. For each additional layer cultivated, one could temporarily double their strength, and activating it also consumed lifespan 1 year per layer. But for Bai Yu, this was practically a freebie. Bai Yu unhesitatingly chose the 9 turns wind demon art.
9 turn wind demon art, earth rank, mid-grade. Compatibility with bloodfien annihilation QI, 98%.
Bai Yu decisively invested life experience to merge the two techniques. Merge successful. Acquired, wind demon 9 turns, earth rank, mid-grade. Bai Yu nodded faintly. This trump card had become even stronger. Unfortunately, only the stout cultivator had verbally agreed to let Bai Yu bury him, the thin one had not. So, he only got 1 burial reward. Bai Yu didn't mind and checked the corpse burial record again. Through it, he could view some fragmented memories. The only information he could get was that they had all infiltrated with the Bai Luo City cultivators. Their mission seemed to be to continuously kill cultivators and use their essence and blood to cultivate a blood demon blade, ultimately to assist a so-called young lord. Even demonic cultivators have appeared. This trip to the secret realm is probably more unstable than ever before. Bai Yu raised his hand, and a dark red demonic blade appeared in it. The blade exuded a fishy smell and was carved with strange demonic patterns. Although this demonic blade was only a mid-grade artifact, the power it had previously displayed was no less than that of a supreme-grade artifact. Just looking at the blade made Bai Yu feel dizzy and mesmerized. This thing is truly sinister. Bai put away the demonic blade and quickly exited the A-line of Sky Canyon. This time, he encountered no more danger on the way and successfully entered the middle layer of the secret realm. Upon entering the middle layer, he immediately felt the concentration of spiritual energy in the air rise another level. If he could cultivate here long-term, his speed would definitely increase greatly. Bai first found a tree hollow to spend the night. The next day, both he and his dog were in optimal condition, and they continued their journey. Over the next few days, he managed to hunt a few beast cores, but unfortunately, none were the 5-element cores needed to refine the foundation establishment pill. It seems I'll have to go to the nearest beast grave to check. He proceeded cautiously and finally arrived at his destination. It was a huge palace built entirely of green stone, the size of a small mountain. The green stone was called spirit-suppressing greenstone, incredibly sturdy and able to withstand attacks from foundation establishment cultivators. To make matters worse, the palace was protected by large formations on all sides. There was only one direct entrance, but it was guarded by dozens of third-rank sword bone vultures. A few of them had incredibly frantic auras, having reached the peak of the third rank, almost on the verge of breaking through to the fourth rank. As expected of a beast grave, one of the most difficult and deadliest places, Bai thought. The so-called beast graves were over 100 stone halls specially left behind by ancient cultivators in the middle layer of the secret realm. The ancient cultivators had considered things very thoroughly. Pill beasts could timely consume mature spirit herbs and condense beast cores, but what if the pill beasts died? If they died outside, wouldn't the beast cores be wasted? So the ancient cultivators set up over 100 stone halls, or beast graves, which could attract pill beasts to rest in peace after death. The beast cores would naturally be left in the stone halls. Moreover, living pill beasts would never enter the stone halls. The methods of the ancient cultivators were astonishing. The 6 great sects had tried to replicate pill beasts and beast graves, but all had failed. Even after thousands of years of research, the 6 great sects couldn't figure out how the ancient cultivators had done it. The beast graves had always been a major point of contention. At this moment, outside the sword bone vulture beast grave, many cultivators from various sects had gathered. They had formed their own teams, waiting for their sect members to assemble. But they all only dared to watch from a distance, not daring to provoke the sword bone vultures. It would take at least 200 to 300 cultivators to have a chance of defeating the flock. As more and more cultivators gathered, someone couldn't hold back any longer. He tried to challenge them, but one of the sword bone vultures shot out a circle of sword-like bones, nearly turning the 10th level Chi refinement cultivator into a sieve on the spot. The terrified cultivator fled in a panic, barely escaping by using a high-grade life-saving talisman.
Bai hid behind a rock, quietly watching everything.
His mind raced. Entering from any other direction is clearly impossible. Even a foundation establishment cultivator might not be able to break through the spirit-suppressing greenstone. From the front, without a few hundred people, there's no hope of getting past the sword bone vultures. Then the only possible chance might be from underground. He wasn't the only one who thought of this.
Not far away, a short cultivator walked out.
The man had a stocky build, and his skin was as dark and rough as tree bark. Many cultivators whispered when they saw him. Earth Dragon Son, that guy is here too. His mastery of earth attribute spells is godlike. Maybe he can really break a path from underground.
Esh, don't get your hope up.
According to the information left by the sect seniors, the ancient cultivators already considered this. There are formations underground as well. That's not necessarily true. Earth Dragon Son has the myriad earth body. It's said that in the earth, he's like a fish in water. Maybe he can find a loophole. Earth Dragon Son took out a shimmering golden talisman. It was an earth rank talisman, an earth shield talisman. The talisman turned into a yellow light that enveloped him, and he plunged headfirst into the ground. The cultivators in the area didn't stop him, but watched with anticipation. If Earth Dragon Son really succeeded, they could find an opportunity to ambush him and take his beast cores. Not long after, a clear light erupted from the stone hall of the beast grave. A person shot out from the ground, or rather, half a person. Earth Dragon Son's lower body was gone, and he was dragging his intestines as he fled. As fate would have it, he ran right into a few sword bone vultures. The vultures immediately had a meal. Thanks to the bounty of nature. The onlookers sighed in unison.
It failed again.
It really is impossible to get through from underground. Earth Dragon Son, with an earth-rank spirit talisman, couldn't even break through. We have even less of a chance. We can only fight our way through the front. I've long heard that the beast graves underground is protected by a formation that is extremely sensitive to all kinds of spiritual energy. A pity. There's always someone who doesn't believe it. For a moment, everyone sighed. Below the rock, Bai's ears twitched, taking in everyone's discussion. He began to ponder. The underground formation is sensitive to spiritual energy, so it's impossible to break through. What if I don't use spiritual energy? An idea sparked in Bai's mind. These formations are all designed against immortal cultivators and are definitely based on spiritual energy. If I use a feng shui master's techniques, it might be different. Techniques powered by earth energy are fundamentally different from spiritual energy spells. The more he thought, the more feasible it seemed.
It's worth a try.
If it fails, with the phoenix-patterned ancient mirror, the silver thread armor, and my iron bone golden body, I can withstand the formation's counterattack and retreat safely. Thinking of this, Bai forced out some of his vital blood and began to silently draw a talisman. The surrounding earth energy gathered towards him. After a while, he began to slowly sink into the ground. The speed was very slow, useless for combat, but perfect for the current situation. Bai was enveloped by earth energy and moved towards the beast grave hall. Bai used his feng shui techniques to travel underground. After the time it takes to burn an incense stick, he approached the beast grave hall. A yellow light shone in his eyes as he used the qi gazing art. He saw that beneath the hall was a yellow lotus flower made of sword qi. Countless streams of sword qi flowed around it. This was clearly an extremely powerful formation, definitely not to be trifled with. Bai activated his tortoise snake spirit concealment art, retracting all the spiritual energy in his body back into his dantian and sealing it off completely. He tried to extend a finger and touch a stream of sword qi. Sure enough, the sword qi didn't react at all. Bai continuously moved through the gaps in the sword qi, found a weak point in the earth energy within the formation, and entered the beast grave hall. He looked around. It was a vast space with no flowers or grass, only rolling sand, stone, and yellow earth. On the ground lay countless white bones, the remains of dead pill beasts. Bai was overjoyed and walked towards the nearest skeleton. Sure enough, in the abdomen of the skeleton, there was a crimson beast core. Not only that, near the neck of the skeleton, there was a shimmering bone spike.
A sword bone vulturess spike.
The essence of a third-rank sword bone vulture, it could be used to refine a flying sword and was worth 400 to 500 spirit stones. This spike was particularly large, probably worth even more. Bai was ecstatic. He quickly collected the beast core and the vulture spike. There were thousands of demonic beast corpses lying here. Although most had their beast cores and valuable materials taken by previous visitors, the accumulation from the last 100 years was still substantial. Bai moved quickly through the hall, collecting beast cores and any usable materials from the skeletons.
Gold spirit peel, 1. Tiger claws, 4. Miscellaneous spirit peel, 2. Life boon snake skull, 3.
For a time, his harvest was immense. Bai moved swiftly, and before long, he had collected more than half of the beast cores. Just then, the sound of clashing metal came from outside, along with the screeches of the sword bone vultures. Bai frowned.
What is going on?
Why did the people outside attack so quickly? Logically, they should have had to wait another 2 or 3 days to gather enough people. But even if they did attack, they shouldn't have been able to break in so fast. The sword bone vultures are not easy to deal with. Bai waved his sleeve and collected another beast core. But at that moment, the light in the passageway flickered. It seemed someone was about to enter. Bai was shocked. He quickly concealed his aura and used the petrification art, clinging to a rock. A female cultivator's voice came from the entrance.
You all stand guard outside.
Don't let anyone in.
Yes, Lady Sunu.
5 figures walked in from the entrance.
4 men and 1 woman.
The female cultivator looked 7/10 similar to Su Yuechan. The man was wearing a cloak, his aura as deep as an abyss, comparable to a foundation establishment expert. He naturally had his arm around Su Yuechan's waist. Bai's heart tightened. He couldn't figure out what was going on. Was that woman really Su Yuechan? If she was she being controlled? Or had she forgotten Bai and become a Taoist partner with someone else? But looking at the man's behavior, it didn't seem like they were Taoist partners. It was more like she was his concubine. With Su Yuechan's proud nature, would she agree to be a concubine? Could she have been threatened? As 1,000 thoughts flashed through Bai's mind, the cloaked man made his next move. He lifted his cloak, held Su Yuechan, and kissed her. Bai's composure broke. Because the man had revealed his true face. At first glance, he looked a bit like Bai.
On closer inspection.
He was Bai. Now, the real Bai was completely bewildered. What is going on? The pile of stones Bai was hiding behind collapsed. The two over there turned to look at him simultaneously. Bai scratched his head awkwardly. Ahem, my timing seems to be a bit off. The male cultivator suddenly smiled. No, your timing is perfect.
Should he call you Brother Kun or Brother Yu?
Bai's brow twitched, and a golden light flashed in his eyes.
How do you know my name? Did Su Yuechan tell you?
The male cultivator giggled. You're jealous, aren't you? I was starting to think your heart was made of iron. It's been 50 years, and you never came to find me. Bai looked at Su Yuechan, then back at the other Bai.
You're the real Su Yuechan.
The male cultivator snorted. You have some sense, at least. He wiped his face, revealing his true form. This was Su Yuechan's true body. Bai asked, then what's going on with you two? Why were you kissing?
Su Yuechan es Phoenix eyes narrowed. This is just my doppelganger.
Is there a problem with me having a relationship with my own doppelganger? Since you won't accompany me, I'll just create a you to accompany me. This completely fried Bai Yu's brain. What is this situation? Let me get this straight. My girl pretends to be me and then has a relationship with her doppelganger who is pretending to be her? This is so outrageous. It has to be true. Bai Yu had thought that time was the best medicine, that it would wash away all feelings. The path of longevity was always lonely.
50 years.
If Su Yuechan had forgotten him, they could have just gone their separate ways. Who would have thought that a girl destined for him wouldn't need to be chased? She would conquer herself on his behalf. Su Yuechan's eyes burned as she stared at Bai Yu, approaching him step by step. You said back then that if I set foot on the immortal path, we would be together. Now I've done it. She strode forward on her long legs, smiling brightly. Come on, let's go to our bridal chamber. Bai Yu took a step back. Lady Yuechan, isn't this a bit too hasty? We've only known each other for a few days. Su Yuechan snorted. You've only been with me for a few days. I've been with you for over 50 years. There's no mistake. This was simply the epitome of outrageousness.
Su Yuchan précède forward, à fragrant brise wafting au vert.
Go ahead and scream.
No one will come to save you.
Bai Yu retreated several more steps. Something felt off about this girl. His mind raced, trying to think of a way to escape. Just then, a black shadow shot out from a mound of earth, aiming for Su Yuechan.
Watch out.
Bai Yu shouted, lunging forward to block the shadow. But Su Yuechan was faster. A silver light flashed in her hand, and she caught the black shadow. It was the tail of a black scorpion, a third-rank demonic beast, the purple-patterned scorpion. A surge of silver light erupted from Su Yuechan's hand, instantly freezing the scorpion solid. Bai Yu breathed a sigh of relief and was about to retreat when a delicate hand landed on his shoulder. Where do you think you're going? Su Yuechan held the scorpion's tail in one hand and gripped Bai Yu's shoulder with the other. Lady Yuechan, it's good that you're all right, Bai Yu stammered.
Hold me.
A myriad of thoughts flashed through Bai Yu's mind, and he finally pulled Su Yuechan into his embrace. It was hard to refuse a beautiful woman's request. She had waited 50 years for him. What more could he say? At worst, it would be like having another fragrant, soft,
Big brother.
As for feelings, they could be cultivated over time. Su Yuechan hugged Bai Yu's waist, her face blushing to the roots of her ears.
Come with me to the Sunu sect.
I'll get you foundation establishment pills so you can successfully break through. Bai Yu smiled wryly and shook his head. His aptitude wasn't something 1 or 2 foundation establishment pills could solve. Besides, he didn't want to rely on a woman. He changed the subject.
Lady Yuchan. Call me Chaner. All right, Chaner.
I heard your Su Nu sect has a Moonchan fairy. What's her relationship with you? Su Yuechan smiled beautifully. That's me. But isn't the Moonchan fairy already at the peak of foundation establishment? Su Yuechan explained, and Bai Yu finally understood. It turned out Su Yuechan's aptitude was excellent. Not only did she have a single ice attribute spirit root, but she also possessed the pure moon body. As soon as she joined the sect, she was noticed by a grand elder and taken in as a direct disciple. The direct disciples of the Su Nu sect were called Su Nu. Su Yuechan's cultivation progressed by leaps and bounds, reaching the peak of foundation establishment with almost no bottlenecks. With her aptitude, she had a more than 50% chance of successfully reaching the golden core stage directly. But Su Yuechan was incredibly ambitious. A normal golden core couldn't satisfy her. She began cultivating an ancient secret art, the 9 knots mystic female scripture. This art required her to refine 8 doppelgangers, divide her cultivation into 9 parts, cultivate them simultaneously, have them all reach foundation establishment at the same time, and then merge them all back into one to break through to the golden core stage, forming the legendary 9-colored golden core. For this Tianmen secret realm trip, the Su Nu sect had sent Su Yuechan, whose cultivation had just dropped back to the Qi refinement realm. She could freely mobilize the cultivation and power of her 8 doppelgangers. Although she couldn't break through to the foundation establishment stage within the secret realm due to its restrictions, her strength was far beyond that of a normal Qi refinement cultivator. Even the 16th level ascetic monk from the Great Chan Monastery was no match for her. Bai Yu was dumbfounded.
So this is the world of genius?
A 50% chance of forming a golden core isn't good enough. She wants to form some 9-colored golden core. At this moment, Su Yuechan looked at Bai Yu, her eyes shining brightly.
Let's enter the bridal chamber, husband.
Isn't this a bit inappropriate? There are still people outside.
Don't worry, husband.
The Su Nu sect disciples are guarding outside. No one else can get in. And they can't spy on what's happening inside. She grinned mischievously.
Husband, don't you want to try the taste of my different doppelganger?
She raised her hand and summoned 2 more of them.
Ah. Husband, you can't escape.
Just submit to me. When we get to the Su Nu sect, you can have all 9 doppelgangers. Su Yuechan, along with her two doppelgangers, closed in. Just then, the entire hall rumbled violently. A stone gate descended at the entrance, sealing the hall completely. At the same time, dozens of third-rank purple-patterned scorpions burst from the ground and charged at the two of them.
Su Yuchan was furious. You wretched beast. How dare you ruin my good time?
Xiaobai, get them. She summoned a golden-furred white tiger. The tiger was already at the peak of the third rank, almost a true demon.
Su Yuchan rode the tiger and charged at the scorpion.
What's the most terrifying creature in the world?
Angry tigre.
What's more terrifying than a tigress? Two of them. With every move Su Yuechan made, streams of silver light shot out, freezing the scorpion solid. Bai Yu, seeing this, also summoned Lao Mo and joined the fray. A dozen purple-patterned scorpions would have been a fatal threat to others, but for Bai Yu and Su Yuechan, it was just a minor inconvenience. Before long, all the scorpions were killed. But Bai Yu's brows were tightly furrowed. Logically, living pill beasts shouldn't enter a beast grave. Why are there so many purple-patterned scorpions here all of a sudden? And why did the hall seal itself? There's definitely something fishy going on. At this time, Su Yuechan went to the entrance to inspect it. The two stone doors were seamlessly integrated with the hall. She tried to attack the door, but even with her immense magical power, she couldn't leave a single scratch.
This is bad, Su Yuchan said.
Something has gone wrong with this hall. The stone door is completely sealed.
We can't get out.
The hall was made of spirit-suppressing greenstone, which could withstand attacks from Foundation establishment cultivators, and was further reinforced by a protective formation. It was impossible for the two of them to break it open with their strength alone. However, Su Yuechan just smiled at Bai Yu.
Husband, we can't get out.
We'll just have to have our bridal chamber here. We've got nothing better to do anyway. Bai Yu gave an awkward smile. Channer, you don't seem very worried. Aren't you afraid we'll be trapped here and die? Su Yuechan moved closer to Bai Yu, staring into his eyes. My husband never does anything he's not sure of. I'm sure you have a backup plan, right, Gravedigger? Over the years, Su Yuechan had searched for Bai Yu more than once. Although she hadn't found him, she had pieced together many stories about his past from various clues. Knowing Bai Yu's character, he definitely had a backup plan. Bai Yu said, Channer, I feel that something isn't right here. We should leave this beast grave as soon as possible. Let's split the beast cores and materials in the hall 50-50. He began to move quickly through the hall, collecting beast cores, spirit valleys, and even the pincers, stingers, and poison sacs of the purple-patterned scorpions. Su Yuechan said nonchalantly, Husband, you can have it all.
I'm not short on these things. Bai Yu tended Su Yuchan a storage bag. Channer, take this.
Otherwise, it will be hard to explain to your sect. And your doppelgangers all need to reach Foundation establishment. You'll need the materials. Seeing Bai Yu's concern, Su Yuechan was overjoyed. I don't need that many. When I exchange them for Foundation establishment pills, I'll bring some for you. Oh right, take these few Earth-rank spirit talismans, husband. Accidents happen in the secret realm, be careful. The feeling of being cared for and missed was quite good. Bai Yu chuckled.
Tiens, he'll take you out of here.
I knew my husband could do it.
Tell me, what should he do?
Suppress all your spiritual energy and hold on to me tight. Hearing this, Su Yuechan leaped onto Bai Yu, wrapping her arms around his neck and her long legs tightly around his waist. The pressure from Su Yuechan's conscience was quite substantial. Bai Yu chanted an incantation and began to walk in a mysterious pattern. Soon, the surrounding earth energy surged and enveloped them. Their figures slowly sank into the ground. Su Yuechan's beautiful eyes were filled with wonder and amazement. To be able to use a technique similar to an earth without any spiritual energy.
My husband is truly no ordinary man. Bai Yu led Su Yuchan through the earth.
He used his chi gazing art, seeing the flow of earth energy clearly. He discovered that the lotus of sword chi that was originally under the ground had disappeared, leaving only scattered streams of sword chi. It seemed the protective formation was mostly broken. Where the lotus had been, there was now a yellow lotus seed. An idea sparked in Bai Yu's mind, and he collected the lotus seed. A moment later, the two of them emerged from behind a mound of earth. Lady Yuechan, let's part ways here, Bai Yu said. Su Yuechan's almond-shaped eyes glared at him. So you don't recognize me once we're out of the hall, is that it?
Call me Channer. All right, Lady Yuchan.
Something is off with this secret realm trip.
Take care of yourself.
Su Yuechan summoned a stream of light and snorted. Hey.
I'll give you a doppelganger.
It has no intelligence, but in all other aspects, it's identical to a real person. Bai Yu was speechless. He'd heard of people giving gold, silver and spirit stones, but never a doppelganger. He said softly, Channer, you must be careful, especially of a group of black-robed people. They are demonic cultivators who have snuck in.
Su Yuchan's eyes lit up. Demonic cultivator? From the Lee Kingdom?
Where did a group of demonic cultivators come from? Bai Yu said, In short, there's a group of them, and their artifacts are very sinister. Plus, with the beast grave hall suddenly sealing, I have a bad feeling about all this.
Su Yushan Oded, Note Dodling.
In that case, let's take care of ourselves. Don't die. Bai Yu smiled and clasped his hands in farewell. Su Yuechan mounted her stream of light and turned to leave. Suddenly, she made a sharp turn, landed in front of Bai Yu again, and kissed him. Only then did she truly leave. Bai Yu stood there, stunned. The gentleness of that moment had caused ripples in his heart, which had been as calm as an ancient well. All beings are like fish in a net. Once caught, there is no escape. Bai Yu stood there, a mix of joy and worry. Only then did he take out a pale yellow lotus seed from his robes. It had been hidden in the great formation of the beast grave for who knows how many ages, absorbing countless amounts of earth attribute energy. It was definitely an earth rank spirit item. Suddenly, Bai Yu noticed that the lotus seed was covered in countless patterns. Looking closely, they were tiny characters, smaller than sesame seeds. Bai Yu quickly infused his eyes with spiritual energy and tried his best to read the text. After a while, he let out a long breath. So that's how it is. The lotus seed recorded the method to restart the beast grave's protective formation. The ancient cultivators had long anticipated that the beast graves might encounter various problems, so they had placed the method of repair and restart within the formation. Only cultivators who had practiced a certain ancient secret art could pass through the formation and obtain it. However, Bai Yu, by relying on the protection of earth energy, had achieved the same feat. Bai Yu pondered for a moment, then once again sank into the ground. These beast graves were the foundation of the 6 great sections. If a single beast grave had a problem, the situation for the 6 sects would become more difficult. It was a small effort to leave a chance for those who came after. Why not do it? Before long, Bai Yu had once again sneaked into the location of the original formation's lotus. He took out several earth and wood attribute spirit stones and placed them in the various formation eyes. Soon, the entire protective formation began to recover. Streams of sword chi were born, forming a green lotus. At this moment, a green light shot out from the lotus and shone on the lotus seed in Bai Yu's hand. The lotus seed underwent a wondrous change. Tiny characters flew out of the lotus seed and entered Bai Yu's forehead. A flood of information entered his mind.
Beast Core Formula.
This was actually a technique for cultivating pill beasts. The formula was incredibly complex. If written down, it would be millions of words long. Even Bai Yu couldn't digest and understand it all at once. However, at the end of the formula was a smaller technique called the core dissolving formula. This technique had only one purpose: to separate the medicinal powers and energies of various spirit herbs from a beast core, to be used for refining various pills.
Up.
If he handed the beast cores to the sect, the return rate was 5 to 1. That is, for every 5 sets of materials for the foundation establishment pill submitted, a disciple would receive 1 pill. This return rate couldn't be called low, as the sect also had a failure rate in alchemy. And for others, the beast cores were useless, as they couldn't separate and extract the medicinal power. A 5 to 1 return rate was definitely not high. Now, with the core dissolving formula, Bai Yu could decompose the medicinal energy himself. It was not impossible for him to refine the foundation establishment pill himself. Bai Yu was overjoyed. He returned to the surface again. He looked at the lotus seed and found that the originally earthy yellow seed now had a hint of pale green life force. It seemed that in the future, he might have a chance to cultivate this lotus seed into a spirit herb. Not only that, he also discovered a map on the lotus seed. The map seemed to depict a giant palace. At the very center of the palace was a formation core that could restart all the beast grave formations. Bai Yu was lost in thought. The ancient cultivators had really thought of everything. It seemed the entire Tianmen secret realm was a place for an ancient supersect to cultivate pill beasts and train its new generation.
Bai Yu the lotus seed.
This time in the beast grave, he had obtained nearly 100 beast cores, including about 25 element beast cores that could be used to refine the foundation establishment pill. The only problem was that he was missing the metal attribute 5 element beast core. Without all 5 elements, he couldn't refine the pill. So, his next goal was to obtain enough metal attribute beast cores. Thinking of this, he once again concealed his form and flew towards the next material point. Half a day later, he arrived near a circular mountain. Here, there was a group of silver-armored panther bears. The mountain also produced metal attribute spirit herbs, so he should be able to obtain a good number of metal attribute 5-element beast cores. However, at this moment, Bai Yu heard the roars of beasts and the sound of clashing metal from the forest. He leaped to a treetop and looked towards the sound. He saw a group of silver-armored panther bears leading a group of second-rank demonic beasts, besieging 7 or 8 cultivators. From their clothes, they were disciples of the Lei Yang sect. Bai Yu looked closer and was stunned. Those disciples were all his fellow sect brothers from the Tianqing society, and even Ho Haitao was among them. Right now, they were surrounded by dozens of demonic beasts, and their situation was precarious. In the forest, a group of demonic beasts was besieging 7 or 8 Lei Yang sect cultivators, Ho Haitao among them.
The beast, a mix of bears and tigers, une hached a barrage of demonicar.
Ho Haitao and the others raised their artifacts and talismans to block. Thanks to Ho Haitao's wealth, he continuously pulled out profound rank, high-grade fire jiao talismans and golden armor talismans, barely managing to hold off the beast's attacks. However, their situation was getting worse. Some were already running out of spiritual energy, their magic becoming sluggish. From a treetop, Bai Yu's brows furrowed. He felt more and more that something was wrong. Logically, pill beasts didn't have much intelligence and shouldn't be cooperating to besiege cultivators. For example, the silver-armored panther bears usually fed on second-rank blazing boars, but now they were leading a dozen blazing boars in a charge against Ho Haitao's group.
In the midst of the battle, a third-rank silver-armored panther bear let out a furious roar.
Its body inflated like a balloon, and its fur shimmered with a silver light, as if it were wearing a layer of silver armor. The bear charged forward, tanking the attacks of 3 or 5 artifacts, and then crashed into the group of cultivators, shattering their joint defensive light shield with a single swipe of its paw. The cultivators were terrified and scattered in a panic. The dozens of demonic beasts pursued them, ready to kill. From the treetop, Bai Yu's eyes lit up. The beasts are all focused on attacking Ho Haitao's group, leaving their rear undefended. This is the perfect opportunity to strike. He instantly changed into his full set of black-robed knight gear. Then he leaped from the tree, the dragon-slaying edge in his hand humming. With a single slash, he unleashed a blade light several feet long, beheading a second-rank wild boar. His figure flickered through the battlefield, and wherever he went, blade light flashed, and a beast would fall. The silver-armored panther bear saw its subordinates being killed and roared in fury. Its body grew to 7 or 8 feet tall, like a small building. The bear's fur erupted in a silver light as it charged at Bai Yu. Its 2 giant paws swiped down. Bai Yu charged back, leaped up, and slashed down with his long blade. At this moment, his entire being essence, chi, and spirit was focused. A wondrous artistic conception was channeled into the blade.
The living go on, the dead return. The dance of mourning.
In Bai Yu's eyes, the bear's movement seemed to slow down several times.
A thrusting blade.
The slash descended. The silver-armored panther bear's incomparably tough silver armor was cut through like tofu. The next moment, Bai Yu's figure appeared behind the bear. The bear's massive body split in 2 and crashed to the ground. Blood and guts spilled everywhere.
1 slash, 1 burial.
This scene stunned Ho Haitao and the others. A ferocious, third-rank bear was killed in a single slash. What kind of power was this? Even the pill beasts were intimidated, trembling and fleeing into the forest. Bai Yu's figure flickered, killing several beasts that had beast cores one by one. By this time, Ho Haitao and the others had come to their senses. They didn't even dare to breathe too loudly, afraid that this person would kill them too after dealing with the beasts. Ho Haitao, his palm clutching a flying talisman, cupped his hands and said, "Thank you, fellow Taoist, for your help. May I know your esteemed name, benefactor? My brothers and I will surely reward you heavily after we get out." Bai Yu, without stopping, extracted several beast cores and the valuable materials from the beasts, such as the panther bear's gallbladder and the blazing boar's bristles. He said in a hoarse voice, "You don't need to know my name. Something has changed in the secret realm, it's more dangerous than before. Take care of yourselves and retreat." Ho Haitao and the others breathed a long sigh of relief. It seemed this mysterious expert had no intention of killing them. Ho Haitao quickly bowed. "In that case, we'll take our leave." The few of them left together. Only after walking a good distance did they dare to speak. A buck-toothed cultivator said, "We were lucky to have that expert's help just now. Otherwise, we'd all be dead." Another blue-robed cultivator, still shaken, said, "I wonder where that expert came from. He killed a third-rank bear with a single slash. Could he be a Foundation Establishment body-refining cultivator?" Ho Haitao said, "Foundation Establishment body-refining cultivators can't enter the Tianmen's secret realm, of course. But he's definitely a body-refining expert of the 10th level or higher, maybe even 12th or 13th. In any case, I definitely couldn't have dealt with that silver-armored panther bear so easily." At this, the buck-toothed cultivator said, "Senior Brother Ho, this secret realm is too dangerous. I don't plan to venture any further. I just want to find a place to wait until we can leave safely." The blue-robed cultivator and the others agreed. This time is just too strange. Different demonic beasts are actually teaming up to attack humans. The danger level is much higher than before. Seeing this, Ho Haitao said, "Everyone, are you really content to remain in the chi refinement stage for the rest of your lives? With the 8 of us together, if we're careful, we can still get some more beast cores and spirit herbs." The blue-robed cultivator said, "Forget it, Senior Brother Ho. Everything is fated. We just don't have that kind of luck. If we force it, we might even lose our lives." The others also expressed their intention to stop adventuring. Ho Haitao let out a long sigh. "In that case, let's make a deal. None of us has enough beast cores to exchange for a Foundation Establishment pill.
Why don't you all sell your beast core to me?
I'll definitely give you a good price." At this time, Bai Yu had landed in a circular valley. At the bottom of the valley, There were indeed many spirit herbs and grasses that would be valuable outside.
Tulive chrysanthemum, white frost grass.
But where is the gold master grass? You discovered that the valley floor was full of profound rank spirit herbs, but there wasn't a single stalk of the gold master grass, a main ingredient for the foundation establishment pill. As he collected the other spirit herbs, he searched, and finally found many digging marks on the ground. The gold master grass had all been dug up. And looking at the marks, they were made by beasts. Since when did pill beasts have this kind of intelligence? Yu's expression grew more and more solemn. After quickly digging up the other spirit herbs, he flew up. He quickly found a tree hollow and set up a concealment formation around it. Although he didn't get the gold master grass this time, he had harvested several metal attribute 5-element beast cores, which could also be used to refine the foundation establishment pill. The most urgent task now was to see if the core dissolving formula could separate the medicinal energy. Yu first cultivated the core dissolving formula, then directly raised its proficiency to the minor accomplishment stage. With a wave of his hand, a regular beast core appeared in his palm. He carefully controlled the spiritual energy in his body, slowly infusing it into the beast core. Then, according to his spiritual sense, he controlled the spiritual energy to envelop the medicinal energy within the core and separate it. After the time it takes to burn half an incense stick, the beast core in Yu's palm had disappeared, replaced by 2 balls of medicinal energy, one red and one green. It seemed this beast core was formed by a demonic beast that had eaten red needlegrass and silver immortal flower. Yu took out 2 jade gourds and sucked the 2 balls of medicinal energy into them, sealing them. Since the core dissolving formula worked, he was greatly encouraged and began to decompose the 5-element beast cores. Before long, he had separated the medicinal energy from all the 5-element beast cores. If he used all of it to refine foundation establishment pills and was completely successful, it would be enough to make about 7 pills.
This is far from enough.
Just then, Lao Mo, who was guarding outside, started barking loudly. Woof. Woof. An enemy has found us. Immediately after, a series of rumbles and vibrations shook the area. Lao Mo's warning came from outside, followed by the sound of explosions and the roars of beasts. Yu leaped out of the tree hollow and saw a dozen or so wild wolves continuously spitting out balls of black demonic fire, bombarding the protective formation he had set up. Yu frowned. So it's second-rank mystic fire wolves. These beasts have the most sensitive noses. No wonder they found me. He had set up a mountain-separating formation and a golden light formation outside, both high-grade formations that should have been able to evade the detection of most demonic beasts. And indeed, for the past half-day, several waves of beasts had passed by without noticing anything. But he had unexpectedly run into a pack of mystic fire wolves, and thus was exposed. Yu raised a finger, about to summon a flying sword to deal with these wolves. Just then, Lao Mo let out a low growl. A whoa. An immense pressure erupted from his body, as if a beast king had descended. The dozen or so mystic fire wolves were hit by this pressure and began to tremble, prostrating themselves on the ground in submission. Yu was a little surprised. Lao Mo's strength had always been a mystery. In terms of immortal cultivation, he should be a second-rank spirit beast. In terms of martial arts, his strength should be no less than a third-rank demonic beast. He hadn't expected a single roar from him to make a dozen mystic fire wolves submit. He didn't know if it was because of Lao Mo's own strength or the pressure from his status as a tomb-guarding divine beast. Just as Yu was about to act, an angry roar came from the distance. A huge black wolf, the size of a calf, led several third-rank mystic fire wolves charging over. The large black wolf howled and launched an attack. Balls of black demonic fire bombarded the protective light screen, causing it to ripple. Lao Mo's eyes were like lightning. He let out a threatening growl, and the pressure from his body became even more ferocious and surging. Even the few third-rank mystic fire wolves were scared and stopped attacking. Only the Wolf King, at the peak of the third rank, could resist Lao Mo's pressure. It seemed to have intelligence, constantly roaring and ordering its subordinates to attack. But all the mystic fire wolves retreated, seeming to feel a suppression in their bloodline. The mystic fire Wolf King roared in fury, pouncing on the protective formation and attacking relentlessly, causing the golden light screen to shake. Seeing this, an idea sparked in Yu's mind. It seems this pack of mystic fire wolves has mistaken Lao Mo for a wolf king too. It said that lion prides and wolf packs are like this.
When two kings fight, the other subordinate don't interfere.
Yu took out a formation disc and opened a gap in the golden light formation. The wolf king immediately leaped in and without a second thought, charged at Lao Mo. The wolf king opened its mouth and spat out a ball of black demonic fire. Lao Mo was not to be outdone, spitting out a series of 9 fireballs. The wolf and the dog began to fight. The Wolf King's strength was already at the peak of the third rank, just one step away from becoming a fourth-rank demonic beast. Its claws, fangs, demonic fire, and demonic arts were all incredibly sharp. For a time, Lao Mo was beaten back, and several wounds appeared on his body. Yu's brow twitched. He activated the mountain-separating formation, completely isolating the area from outside detection. Then, an almost invisible colorless long needle shot out, aiming for the mystic fire Wolf King's head. It was the supreme-grade artifact, the the formless needle. The mystic fire wolf king's reactions were extremely sharp. Its ears twitched, and it dodged the formless needle by instinct. Then, it spat a mouthful of demonic fire directly at Baiyu. In an instant, a tide of black demonic fire surged forward. Baiyu snorted. You think you're the only one with demonic fire? I can play with fire too. Spirit Fire 9 changes. He raised his hand, and his spiritual energy surged. Crimson flames erupted out of thin air, instantly forming a 10-foot-long flaming sword in front of him. The flaming sword shot out and collided with the mystic fire wolf king's lifebound demonic fire. Humph. The black demonic fire was pierced through, parting like a tide.
The flaming sword slammed into the mystic fire wolf king, piercing it through.
The entire wolf king was engulfed in flames, emitting a smell of burnt meat. Baiyu looked at his palm and nodded faintly. An Earth-rank mid-grade spell is indeed powerful.
It killed the wolf king in one hit.
But the spiritual energy consumption is a bit high. This single Spirit Fire 9 changes flaming sword took half of my spiritual energy. At this moment, Lao Mo quickly moved forward to deliver the finishing blow, beheading the wolf king. Baiyu, on the other hand, flipped his hands, and a talisman with a ghost face drawn on it appeared in his palm. It was a high-grade spirit talisman, the Chonggui talisman. This talisman's effect was similar to the Evil Path's soul-searching technique. It could temporarily turn an enemy's soul into a Chonggui, allowing the user to read its memories.
The Changui talisman flew out.
A black mist rose from the wolf king's corpse and slowly formed a faint soul shadow. Baiyu chanted an incantation and began to search the wolf king's soul. After a moment, Baiyu's expression grew worse and worse, until it was so cold it could drip water. Half an hour later, the wolf king's soul couldn't take it anymore and dissipated. Baiyu's face was grim. So that's how it is. The wolf king's early life had almost no memories. It acted on instinct like a wild animal. But 3 years ago, for some unknown reason, the mystic fire wolf king had slowly awakened its intelligence. Not only that, but almost all the pill beast leaders in the middle layer of the Tianmen secret realm had awakened their intelligence. A few months ago, the ghost fox king of the red fox tribe had called on all the pill beast tribes to unite against the invading outside cultivators. In the end, the 18 strongest beast kings in the secret realm began to gather their subordinates and hunt the outside cultivators.
This is strange.
I've never heard of pill beasts awakening their intelligence before. This time, they not only awakened their intelligence and started to team up to attack humans, but they even started to capture human cultivators alive, seemingly plotting something. The most crucial thing is that this group of pill beasts wants to completely close the Tianmen secret realm, and it seems they are already halfway successful. Once the Tianmen secret realm was closed, people outside would no longer be able to open it, and Baiyu and the others would be truly unable to leave. From ancient times, cultivators who couldn't leave within 3 months had only met with death. Baiyu felt the situation was becoming more and more serious. If the pill beasts were just teaming up to hunt humans, with his skills, he was confident he had a chance to hide and survive until the heavenly gate reopened. But now, the pill beasts were destroying the beast graves everywhere and wanted to completely close the Tianmen secret realm. This was to trap all the human cultivators and then eliminate them one by one. Baiyu paced back and forth, his hands behind his back. No, I have to find a way to stop these pill beasts, or I'll be trapped and killed in the Tianmen secret realm, then erased by some mysterious power. The more anxious he became, the calmer he grew. His mind raced. Finally, his gaze flickered between Lao Mo and the mystic fire wolf king. A strange smile appeared on his face. Baiyu used his disguise technique to make Lao Mo look like the mystic fire wolf king. Actually, he didn't need to do much. Lao Mo was already all black and had a similar kingly aura.
A wolf, a dog.
Who could tell the difference? Before long, a majestic wolf king appeared on the scene, while Baiyu lay on the ground, playing dead. Lao Mo let out a howl, and a group of subordinates came up, carried Baiyu, and headed towards the wolf pack's territory. The core of the mystic fire wolf pack's territory was a beast grave hall. This hall was even larger and more magnificent than the one Baiyu had entered before. Several hundred mystic fire wolves, and even the shadows of other demonic beasts, were scattered around the hall. Lao Mo let out a low growl and led Baiyu into the beast grave hall. The other mystic fire wolves stood guard outside. Baiyu lay on the ground, surveying his surroundings. In the center of the hall lay dozens of human cultivators, their breathing normal, but their eyes devoid of spirit. According to the information Baiyu had obtained, all the beast races had received orders to hunt human cultivators everywhere, preferably capturing them alive. Once captured, they would be fed a spirit fruit called the Sin God fruit, which would destroy their souls and consciousness. Although he didn't know what the pill beasts were up to, it was definitely not simple. Just then, a low growl came from outside. A third-rank mystic firewolf burst in and let out a challenging roar at Lao Mo. This wolf's aura was strong, only slightly weaker than the previous wolf king. It seemed he wanted to challenge Lao Mo for the position of wolf king. Lao Mo roared back, not to be outdone. The two faced off, the ferocity in their eyes growing. The challenger wolf seemed quite intelligent, continuously letting out low growls, threatening Lao Mo to give up the throne. But Lao Mo wouldn't give in. Becoming the Wolf King was the first step of the plan. Suddenly, Lao Mo attacked first, spitting out a series of fireballs, with a spherical flying sword mixed in. The challenger wolf was startled, its body erupting in black demonic fire as it charged forward. Just then, a subtle ripple in the air. An invisible, colorless needle flew out, piercing the challenger wolf's heart from below. Bai Yu, who had risen to his feet at some point, calmly recalled the formless needle. A golden light shone in his eyes as he stared at the dead wolf. These intelligent mystic fire wolves are quite troublesome. I have to get out of here quickly, or Lao Mo will be exposed. Suddenly, an idea came to him. Since it has intelligence, I wonder if I can perform a burial? Logically, there were two requirements for a burial. First, it had to be an intelligent life form. If it was a demonic beast, it had to have awakened its intelligence. Second, it required a burial request or permission. Now that Lao Mo was the Wolf King, he wondered if he could authorize a burial. Bai Yu said a few words to Lao Mo, then tried to dig a pit and bury the third-rank mystic fire wolf. Sure enough, the corpse burial record reacted.
Burial target, Mystic Fire Wolf.
Identity, Mystic Fire Wolf Pack, Deputy Wolf King. Cultivation, third-rank demonic beast.
Technical Reward, Fire Spirit Route +8. Life Experience, 280,000.
Optional rewards, Demonic Power +24, Strength +32, Mystic Fire Spirit Seal, Chi and Blood +1999. Burial Participation, 61%. One additional reward can be chosen.
Bai Yu's eyes lit up.
I can't believe this actually works. He suddenly had a bold idea. If Lao Mo really became a demonic king, could he perform burials with impunity? From another perspective, if Bai Yu became an emperor, could he also issue unlimited burial requests? This method sounded very feasible and reliable. Bai Yu turned his attention back to the burial rewards. A single mystic fire wolf gave 8 points of fire spirit root, a generous reward indeed. As for the optional rewards, there weren't many. After all, they were beasts. You couldn't expect them to have any cultivation techniques. However, the mystic fire spirit seal caught his interest. When human cultivators mastered a spell, they would produce a spell seal. And some talented demonic beasts were born with a spirit seal. Did this mean that possessing the spirit seal was equivalent to directly mastering a spell? Bai Yu directly chose the Mystic Fire Spirit Seal. A faint spiritual energy seal appeared in front of him. Mystic Fire Spirit Seal, the innate spell of the Mystic Fire Wolf. After obtaining it, one can produce Mystic Wolf Demonic Fire. Host does not possess demonic power and cannot use it. Bai Yu frowned. So this thing requires demonic power. He thought for a moment and directly infused the spirit seal into Lao Mo's mind. Lao Mo let out a low growl and spat out a ball of demonic fire. He was overjoyed. Woof. Woof. I have demonic fire. With demonic fire, his artifact refining skills would improve even more.
Bai Yu checked the Mystic Fire Wolf's memory again.
This time, he learned that the wolf's awakening of intelligence was related to an old fox. 3 years ago, an old fox had come to the Mystic Fire Wolf's territory, and many third-rank wolves had awakened their intelligence. And this recent beast uprising was also the work of that old fox. Bai Yu was lost in thought. Legend has it that the demon race has a spell called the Enlightenment Art, which can awaken the intelligence of lesser demons. Could it be that the old fox used a similar spell? But the Enlightenment Art requires at least a 10th-rank Great Demon to use. A 10th-rank Great Demon is equivalent to a human nascent soul ancestor. Bai Yu felt more and more that the water here was too deep. For the following days, Bai Yu and Lao Mo schemed on how to trick the dogs.
No, the intelligent Mystic Fire Wolves.
Into the hall for burial. Burial successful.
Reward, Fire Spirit Route +5. Life Experience, 130,000.
Optional rewards, Fire Control Art, Mystic Fire Spirit Seal, Chi and Blood +1888, Demonic Power +25. Burial Participation, 57%. One additional reward can be chosen. Burial successful.
Reward, Fire Spirit Route +6. Life Experience, 250,000.
Optional rewards, Mystic Fire Spirit Seal, Chi and Blood +1658, Demonic Power +33. Burial Participation, 68%. One additional reward can be chosen. Over these days, Bai Yu's Fire Spirit Root Sword, gaining dozens of points. His life experience also maxed out. The optional rewards were fewer. Bai Yu chose Chi and Blood for all of them. He needed a large amount of Chi and Blood energy to break through and refine the chaotic acupoints for his Myriad Stars Body Sutra. With a massive amount of Chi and Blood, he finally refined another chaotic acupoint, bringing his total to 8. His strength also successfully reached 80,000 Jin. This was practically a divine life. Over a month later, Bai Yu had buried the last of the intelligent mystic fire wolves. His fire spirit root had grown to 102 points. Fire spirit root has reached 100 points. Acquired first rank spirit body, mystic fire spirit body. Mystic fire spirit body, Increases affinity with fire attribute spiritual energy. Increases cultivation speed of fire attribute spells. Allows for the cultivation of a life-bound spirit fire. Baiyu tried to circulate his cultivation technique and found that his spiritual energy flowed with unprecedented smoothness. His cultivation speed had more than doubled. A huge grin spread across his face. Finally, he was no longer a trash-tier spirit root chicken. He was now a fighter jet among chickens. This mystic fire spirit body was only a first-rank spirit body, far inferior to Liu Beichen's eunuch body, or Su Yuechan's pure moon body, but in some smaller sects, it would be considered excellent. Baiyu had obtained a first-rank spirit body with just 100 points of fire spirit root. What if he had 1,000 or 10,000? As long as he buried enough, what spirit body couldn't he surpass? While he was thriving, even thinking of having a hot pot and singing some songs, the other human cultivators were not so lucky. For over a month, all the human cultivators were chased all over the mountains by the demonic beasts. Who knows how many cultivators were killed by the swarms of demons? There were so many demonic beasts in the Tianmen's secret realm. In the past, the numerous pill beasts had no intelligence and were killed by the cultivators in various ways. But once the pill beasts united, the human cultivators were plunged into endless peril. In a forest, several cultivators were fleeing at high speed. From their clothes, they were disciples of the Myriad Pills Pavilion. One of them, riding a third-rank rhinoceros, was covered in blood. He cursed, "Damn it, the pill beasts have gone crazy this year. Why are they chasing us everywhere? If the sect hadn't given us 2 waterfire pythons, we'd have died 800 times over." But just then, the roars of beasts came from ahead. Hordes of demonic beasts surrounded them from all sides. Soon, these few cultivators were swallowed by the beast tide. In a certain cave, a group of black-robed people had grim expressions, all of them injured. At their feet lay several corpses, who appeared to be disciples of the Lei Yang sect. The leading black-robed man knelt on one knee and said to the darkness within, "Young lord, your subordinate is incompetent. I have only killed a little over 100 cultivators and over 200 demonic beasts. I have failed to temper the blood demon blades as scheduled. The demonic beasts outside are in turmoil. We can't hunt cultivators and absorb their essence and souls according to plan." The other black-robed men also knelt. "Young lord, it's not that we are incompetent, but the beasts outside are too cunning. Those beasts seem to have gained intelligence and even know how to set up ambushes in advance. Yes. I even saw a weasel and a wild chicken working together to attack humans." From the depths of the cave, a black shadow, almost ethereal, exuded a cold and terrifying aura. He said faintly, "Get up. I'll give you half a month. Kill 600 demonic beasts and obtain their essence and souls. If you can't do it, then feed the blood demon blades with your own flesh and blood." The black-robed men's hearts went cold.
Young Lord, reste assured.
"Your subordinates will definitely complete the mission." In a certain valley, 2 female cultivators were surrounded by dozens of iron-feathered vultures. They were the Yen sisters of the Lei Yang sect. The older sister, Yen Shunhua, gritted her teeth.
Yinger, listen to me. ILL de tonade the Thunderfire Pele the sect gave us and take this beast down with me.
You take this chance to break out and find senior brother Feng Tiandu. Yen Shunning shouted, "No sister.
You will always give me everything. Today, it's my turn to give way to you.
You go." Just then, the dozen or so iron-feathered vultures in the sky dove down, their feathers turning into flying needles and shooting towards the Yen sisters. The sisters helplessly threw out one thunderfire pellet after another. A storm of thunder and fire clashed with the vultures' feather needles. A moment later, all their life-saving pellets were used up. Yen Shunhua smiled tragically. "So be it. We sisters were born on the same day, in the same month, of the same year. It seems we are fated to die on the same day."
Suddenly, a shimmering light flashed in the sky. A beautiful female cultivator shot over.
It was Su Yuechan. She held a moon-like artifact in her hand, and streams of silver light shot out from it. In an instant, a dozen iron-feathered vultures were frozen into ice sculptures. Su Yuechan said coldly, "The cultivators of the 6 sects and 1 city have started to form an alliance to protect ourselves. Follow me." The Yen sisters' faces lit up with joy, and they followed Su Yuechan, disappearing into the horizon. In just 2 short months, countless battles had erupted in the secret realm. Countless cultivators had fallen. In the past, it was humans hunting demons for their cores. Now, the situation was reversed. The human cultivators were in a constant state of panic, while the pill beasts formed packs and scoured the land for them. Of course, these storms did not affect Baiyu. He was now relying on his dog's power, using Lao Mo's prestige to live a comfortable life. He sat cross-legged, continuously cultivating the Myriad Stars Body Sutra. With a massive amount of demonic beast chi and blood, as well as the medicinal power of spirit herbs, he refined another chaotic acupoint. His strength reached 90,000 jin. Compared to the other cultivators who were hiding and fleeing, Baiyu's life was quite leisurely. However, as the days passed, he grew more and more uneasy. From the information he had obtained from the corpse burial record, The pill beasts were planning to do something big to completely close the Tionmen's secret realm. He didn't know when they would start.
Sudanli, à clamor cam fromutsid.
Yu instantly went limp, as if he were a mindless living corpse. A moment later, a fiery red fox walked in from outside. It stood on its hind legs and spoke in human voice. By order of the Fox Immortal Elder, all tribes are to collect the beast cores from the beast graves, then destroy their respective beast graves.
Bring the human living corpse and gatter at Red Fox Valley within 3 days.
This meeting concerns the survival of all beast races. All 18 beast tribes must be present. Lao Mo let out a few low growls to show he understood. And Yu on the ground, thought to himself, it's finally happening. I knew I couldn't just get through these 3 months peacefully.
The Fox Immortal Elder.
That's the one who awakened the intelligence of all the demonic beasts. This joint hunt of humans was also his command. Soon, all the beast cores in the beast grave were collected. Under the guidance of the Red Fox, the mystic firewolves buried strange beads in various parts of the beast grave. Before long, the entire beast grave hall rumbled and closed, and the protective formation was destroyed. Outside the hall, the entire mystic fire wolf tribe had assembled.
For a time, the sound of howling wolves filled the air.
A woof, woof. Several hundred mystic firewolves, carrying dozens of human living corpses, rushed towards Red Fox Valley. They moved like a raging fire. Along the way, more and more demonic beasts joined them. Countless beasts converged like streams of water, forming a beast tide that poured into a valley. In the valley, a fiery red fox was holding a skull and bowing to the moon in the sky. The moonlight descended, forming a silver pill that was absorbed by the red fox. Only then did it speak. Since everyone is here, let's begin. A huge red fox stood on a large rock and said in a loud voice, the human race has twisted the heavens, turning us all into pill beasts, suppressing our people for countless millennia. The entire Tionmen's secret realm is a giant prison, trapping all of us pill beasts, making us sacrifices for the human race. Although the red fox spoke in human tongue, it had a magical power that allowed all the beast races to understand. Immediately, the surrounding beasts were stirred with anger. A massive silverback gorilla beat its chest and roared, the Fox Immortal Elder is right. In this secret realm, we can't break through to the 4th rank at all. If it weren't for the Elder's help, none of us would have awakened our intelligence. The Fox Immortal Elder said coldly, exactly. There is an ancient grand formation in the Tionmen's secret realm, the heavenly star-locking demon formation. This formation prevents us from breaking through in cultivation, and over time, it will even erase our intelligence. The pill beasts, having suffered greatly from this, were filled with righteous indignation. They all howled.
For a time, the sound of wolves howling, apes roaring, birds chirping, and snakes hissing filled the air.
The scene was chaotic. In the midst of the beast tide Yu, disguised as a living corpse, took in their words. The ancient cultivators really thought of everything. They set up a grand formation to suppress the intelligence and cultivation of the pill beasts, making it convenient for later generations to enter the secret realm and collect beast cores time and time again. I just don't know how this group of pill beasts will deal with it. At this moment, the Fox Immortal Elder coughed, silencing the beasts. We will destroy this heavenly star-locking demon formation and completely close the Tionmen's secret realm, making it a secret realm for our beast race. As long as we close the secret realm, we will no longer be plundered by human cultivators. His words were incredibly infectious. The newly intelligent pill beasts were filled with anticipation. A purple scorpion raised its voice, Lord Fox, what should we do? Just give the order, and we'll follow you. A golden-furred tiger king also roared, Lord Fox Immortal, quickly tell us how to close the secret realm. We can't wait any longer.
The Fox Immortal Elder's voice echoed, the eyes of the heavenly star-locking demon grand formation are the 108 beast grave.
They correspond to 108 stars. As long as we close the 18 main beast grave halls, and then close the other beast graves, we can summon a star hall. In that star hall, there is a formation secret key that can directly close the entire Tionmen's secret realm. Below the stage, Yu's heart pounded. No wonder the previous beast grave closed without reason. It was the pill beasts wanting to completely close the Tionmen's secret realm. Once the secret realm is closed, people outside will no longer be able to open the entrance, and Yu and the others will be completely trapped inside. Then they will be at the mercy of the pill beasts. Even if they can escape the beast siege, they absolutely cannot stay in the Tionmen's secret realm for long. It is said that there is a mysterious power in the secret realm that erases all cultivators who remain inside. While Yu was deep in thought, the pill beasts were overjoyed, roaring with excitement.
The Gorilla King roared, Fox Immortal Elder, what are we waiting for?
Let's open the Star Hall and completely close the Tionmen's secret realm. The Purple Scorpion King also shouted, that's right. With our 18 beast tribes united, plus the other smaller tribes, our numbers exceed several 100,000. Are we afraid we can't take down a so-called Heavenly Gate secret key? But the Fox Immortal Elder shook his head. Numbers are useless. The ancient cultivators left behind a countermeasure. Pill beast bodies cannot approach the Star Hall.
Below the stage, BUS at 5.
He instantly understood why the pill beasts were capturing human cultivators and erasing their consciousness. They wanted to possess the humans and use their bodies to enter the Star Hall, obtain the Heavenly Gate secret key, and then completely close the Tianmen's secret realm. What is the origin of this Fox Immortal Elder? How does he know so many secrets? And his plans are so far-reaching. Sure enough, the Fox Immortal Elder said, therefore, I need you to possess the human bodies and go with me to the Star Hall. The pill beasts all agreed. Following the Fox Immortal Elder's command, all the third-rank pill beasts began to possess the human bodies. Because the human cultivators had their consciousness erased and were equivalent to living corpses, the possession was very easy. Lao Mo, coordinating with Bai Yu, pretended to be possessed. The scene was chaotic with thousands of beasts, so no one noticed them. Before long, the living corpses all stood up, one by one, and began to adapt to their new bodies. Bai Yu also blended into the crowd, pretending to be very clumsy. At this time, the Fox Immortal Elder said again, to prevent any betrayal, the 18-beast King Silverback Gorilla, Purple-Patterned Scorpion, Mystic Firewolf, and the others come forward. I will place a restrictive seal on you. If anyone betrays the beast race, this seal will suppress your cultivation. Bai Yu's heart skipped a beat. The Mystic Firewolf King was one of the so-called 18-beast kings. This old fox was cunning, he didn't expect him to have this trick up his sleeve. But at this point, he had no choice but to bite the bullet. He, along with the other 17 beast kings, received the Danteon seal. At this time, the Fox Immortal Elder waved his hand and completely closed the beast grave in the valley. This was the last of the 18 main beast grave halls. The entire secret realm rumbled and shook. The heavens and earth moved, and the mountains and rivers shifted. A majestic and imposing hall appeared in the sky. The hall was surrounded by a shimmering light, as bright as the morning stars. The Fox Immortal Elder looked at the hall, his eyes burning with a passion that seemed to hold a trace of nostalgia.
The Star Hall
has finally appeared. He turned and immediately commanded, iron-feathered vultures, seal the void and block the human cultivators from entering the Star Hall. All beast kings and generals who have possessed human bodies, disperse and blend in with the human cultivators. Create chaos and buy me time. In an instant, countless pill beasts responded and began to act. At the same time, the human cultivators also saw the hall in the sky. In a certain valley, Su Yuechan said with a start, the Star Hall. I can't believe this legendary hall has actually appeared. Everyone, head to the Star Hall immediately.
The pill beast can't get in there.
It will guarantee our safety for the last half a month. One by one, the human cultivators shot up into the sky, heading for the Star Hall. But in the air, flocks of iron-feathered vultures circled, fighting with the human cultivators. At this time Bai Yu, riding a stream of light, suddenly made a turn and landed in a forest. He didn't enter the Star Hall directly. Instead, he concealed his aura and made his way back to Red Fox Valley. In the valley, countless pill beasts and savage beasts stood guard outside the beast grave. Inside the beast grave were the bodies of the many beast kings and generals. Bai Yu used his feng shui techniques to sneak underground, and before long, he entered the beast grave. On the ground lay the bodies of a group of beast kings and generals. These were all third-ranked demonic beasts, incredibly valuable. The most crucial thing was that they still had their beast cores inside.
BUS eyes lit up.
Lao Mo, time to get to work. Time to harvest some kidneys. Lao Mo, time to get to work.
Bai called out. A black shadow darted out from the darkness.
It was Lao Mo, holding a storage bag in his mouth. It turned out he had already started working, extracting the beast cores from the demonic beasts, and not even leaving behind the valuable parts of their bodies. The fox had thought it was foolproof to have the beasts hide their original bodies in the beast grave after possession, but who could have imagined that Bai Yu could so easily enter? The man and his dog, each holding a storage bag, moved quickly. Bai Yu directly collected the bodies of the 18 beast kings. These were all peak third-ranked demonic beasts, each worth a fortune. However, he didn't see the body of the Fox Immortal Elder, he didn't know where he had hidden it. After a flurry of activity, both storage bags were bulging. The harvest this time was immense. There were over 1,000 beast cores alone, and some of the demonic beast materials were almost too much to fit. If they were outside, this much loot would make them rich. But now, Bai Yu couldn't feel happy. Beast cores, demonic beast materials. They were only useful if he could get out alive. If he couldn't stop the Fox Immortal Elder from destroying the Grand Formation, he would likely die here. Bai Yu took Lao Mo and left the beast grave. He looked up at the sky. By now, the human cultivators had defeated the iron-feathered vultures, and groups of them were pouring into the Star Hall. The timing seems just right. I can blend in now without attracting attention. Bai Yu took out a spirit talisman and said a few words. Then he changed into a suit of black night clothes and transformed into a streak of light, flying into the Star Hall. The hall was magnificent and vast, with a strong spiritual energy. On both sides were thousands of rooms. The sound of fighting came from within the rooms. It turned out the rooms contained numerous 5-element beast cores and even powerful artifacts left by ancient cultivators. Many cultivators went crazy. The pill beast uprising had meant that their harvests were generally poor. Now, these rooms had 5-element beast cores, and in large quantities. How could they resist? For a time, fighting broke out in every corner of the hall. Baiyu didn't go to snatch the 5-element beast cores. His harvest was already sufficient. If he couldn't stop the fox immortal elder, getting more cores would be pointless. He calmly took out a pale yellow lotus seed and checked the pattern carved on it. The lotus seed was inscribed with a map of the star hall. The map even showed a secret passage leading to the core of the hall. That was the eye of the locking demon grand formation. It could either completely close the Tianmen secret realm or restart the beast graves within the realm, returning everything to peace. Whether he could get out alive depended on the struggle at the core. Baiyu took a deep breath and entered an inconspicuous stone room. This room had no beast cores or artifacts, only an elegant screen. On the screen was painted a small path that seemed to lead to another world. The screen was decorated with 7 star-like stones that condensed a powerful stellar energy. Stellar essence, earth rank, low-grade spirit material, condensed from countless amounts of stellar energy. Baiyu waved his hand and collected the 7 stellar essences. He then unhesitatingly stepped into the screen, his figure disappearing from this space. At the same time, in a vast boundless room, a group of black-robed people appeared. The leader surveyed the area, his gaze fixed on an altar in the center of the room. On the altar was a sky-blue light shield. Inside the shield, balls of multicolored light danced. Vaguely, one could see pills, tokens, and other items within the light balls. The leader seemed to be talking to himself. Old Gu, is that the spirit item that can help me form my golden core? Yes, this person was Ling Yun, the so-called young lord of the black-robed demonic cultivators. However, the white fox that was usually with him was gone. A voice echoed in his mind. This is the core of the Star Hall. On that altar, there is a pill called the 5 Elements Golden Core. This pill was developed by ancient cultivators in imitation of the Foundation Establishment pill. It can help a Foundation Establishment cultivator form a golden core. There are 5 of them in total, and each one can increase the chance of forming a golden core by 20%. Ling Yun was ecstatic. One pill increased the chance by 20%. 5 would mean a 100% chance of forming a golden core. Such a pill was unheard of. If he could obtain the 5 elements golden cores, he could steadily reach the golden core stage and then go back for revenge. Old Gu, what are we waiting for? Let's go get them. But Old Gu said, strange. Besides the 5 elements golden cores, there should be 6 tokens in the celestial light shield. Why are there only 5? Ling Yun didn't care about any tokens. In his eyes, there were only the 5 elements golden cores. He waved his hand, and 9 black-robed figures stepped forward. Each of them held a blood demon blade and simultaneously slashed at the blue light shield of the altar. The 9 streams of blood-red light merged into one and slammed into the light shield. Boom.
The light shield tore open, and the dozens of light balls inside scattered.
Ling Yun was overjoyed and was about to collect them. But just then, a spatial fluctuation occurred. A fiery red fox leading a group of cultivators appeared near the altar. It was the fox immortal elder with his trusted beast kings. He was clearly surprised that someone had beaten him here. The fox immortal elder immediately shouted, "Kill them all."
C'est the avant-liguette secret qui.
Ling Yun's expression also changed drastically. Kill them. Immediately, the black-robed men and the group of beast kings began to fight. The fox immortal elder transformed into a streak of light and shot towards a 7-colored light ball.
Ling Boy, déteste the avant-liguette secret qui.
We absolutely cannot let it fall into someone else's hands. Old Gu urgently prompted Ling Yun. Ling Yun gritted his teeth, a sinister blood-colored demonic blade appearing in his hand as he slashed at the fox immortal elder.
The fox immortal elder roared, get lost.
His figure flashed, and a sharp claw, the size of a wheel, slammed down.
The demonic blade and the giant claw collided.
The fox immortal elder and Ling Yun were both sent flying back, shock in their eyes. Immediately, a great battle ensued. Neither side could gain the upper hand. Whenever one side tried to grab the Heavenly Gate secret key, the other would forcefully stop them. Just then, another spatial fluctuation occurred, and a figure appeared in another corner. It was Baiyu, who had also entered this space. He scanned the area, quickly grasped the situation, and immediately had a plan. A blood demon blade appeared in his hand. Coupled with the black knight clothes he was already wearing, he looked just like one of the black-robed men. As luck would have it, the Heavenly Gate secret key was floating right towards him. At this moment, both the black-robed men and the fox immortal elder side were overjoyed. The black-robed men thought Baiyu was one of them. The fox immortal elder, sensing the restrictive seal he had placed, thought the mystic fire wolf king had arrived. Baiyu, without a second thought, reached out and snatched the Heavenly Gate secret key. Baiyu appeared in the hall just as the Heavenly Gate secret key flew towards him. Without a second thought, he grabbed it. The so-called secret key was a spherical stone. It was made of some unknown material, its surface covered in profound runes that were dizzying to look at. Unexpectedly, neither the black-robed men nor the beast tribe tried to stop him. The black-robed men thought Bai Yu was one of their own who had possessed a body. The beast tribe thought Bai Yu was the mystic fire wolf king.
The fox immortal elder loged ludli.
Mystic fire wolf king, well done. Quickly, place the heavenly gate secret key into that yin-yang diagram. Place the key in the black formation eye, and the entire Tianmen secret realm will be closed. At the far end of the hall was a vertical yin-yang bagua diagram. The diagram was 100 feet tall and incredibly profound. Both the yin and yang fish were missing an eye, and the heavenly gate secret key in Bai Yu's hand was the key to controlling the entire Tianmen secret realm.
Bai Yu stammered, F fox.
Elder, help me. Block them. As he spoke, he shot towards the yin-yang diagram. The fox immortal elder was overjoyed. He led his beast kings and generals to entangle the group of black-robed men. As long as the mystic fire wolf king places the heavenly gate secret key in the yin-yang diagram, everything here will be mine for the taking. Just as he thought the situation was decided, his expression suddenly changed. He saw Bai Yu fly to the yin-yang diagram and head directly for the white side.
The fox immortal elder shouted, Mystic fire, are you out of your mind? It's the black side.
Bai Yu turned a deaf ear and flew towards the white formation eye. It turned out the yin-yang diagram was two sides of the same coin. White represented life, and black represented death. If the key was placed in the black eye, the secret realm would be completely closed. If placed in the white eye, it would restart all 108 beast graves and activate the grand formation to erase all intelligent pill beasts. Bai Yu had previously obtained a lotus seed, which was left by the ancient cultivators to guide later generations in repairing the formation.
It recorded how to restart all the beast grave.
Bai Yu ignored everything and pushed his movement technique to its limit, flying towards the white formation eye. A cultivator happened to be nearby. He was the gorilla king, who had possessed a body. He shouted, Mystic Firewolf, are you fucking crazy? How dare you defy the Fox Immortal's orders? He blocked Bai Yu's path, pulled out an iron rod, and slammed it down. The blow stirred up a powerful gust of wind and a sharp whistling sound. Bai Yu didn't stop at all. He pointed a finger, Spirit Fire 9 changes. A speck of fire condensed at his fingertip, instantly draining half of his spiritual energy. The speck of fire transformed into a true spirit fire jiao, dozens of feet long, its body blazing as it roared and pounced on the gorilla king. Boom.
A loud explosion.
The gorilla king was directly swallowed by the roaring flames and without a sound, turned to ash. An earth rank, mid-grade spell. This was a technique that only Foundation establishment cultivators should possess, so it was no surprise that it could instantly kill a chi refinement cultivator. On the other side, the Fox Immortal Elder was furious.
Mystic fire, you traitor.
You actually colluded with the human race.
He will tear you to pieces.
He threw his head back and let out a sharp, ear-piercing laugh. Immediately, the restrictive seal in Bai Yu's Dantian violently activated, completely sealing all the spiritual energy within. The Fox Immortal Elder looked at Bai Yu with hatred, his eyes filled with killing intent.
Fool. You d'arrêt tout betremeux.
Did you really think my restrictive seal was for show? This time, let's see how you die. However, Bai Yu just snorted and then acted as if nothing had happened. A normal person whose Dantian was sealed would be at the mercy of others. But Bai Yu was different. He cultivated 9 chaotic acupoints, which were equivalent to 9 martial arts stanchions. His Dantian being sealed didn't affect the Gang Chi in his other acupoints at all. He quickly circulated his Gang Chi, wrapping it around the seal in his Dantian layer by layer, while continuing to rush towards the white formation eye. The Fox Immortal Elder was enraged. You beast. All of you, at any cost, stop him. He transformed into a red streak of light, shooting towards Bai Yu like a lightning bolt, several times faster than him. The other beast kings and generals, their eyes filled with malice, also abandoned their opponents and chased after Bai Yu. The black-robed leader, however, seemed to be in thought. He only held his subordinates back, not intercepting the beast kings and generals, and instead began to collect the 5 elements golden cores and other items. It looked as if the Fox Immortal Elder and his beasts were about to catch up to Bai Yu. Only then did Bai Yu realize that the yin-yang diagram held a hidden mystery. It seemed to be only 100 feet wide, but the closer he got, the wider the space became, until it was tens of thousands of feet wide. At this rate, he would be caught by the Fox Immortal Elder before he could activate the formation. The Fox Immortal Elder used a secret technique, causing the restrictive energy in Bai Yu's Dantian to clash with the seal, slowing him down. He himself rapidly closed the distance.
Ah.
Boy, you have some nerve, trying to trick me.
When he get my on you, he'll make you suffer the pain of 10,000 ghosts devouring your soul.
The distance between them was closing. Just then, another spatial fluctuation occurred in the hall. It was Su Yuechan, leading a group of disciples from the 6 sects. Bai Yu shouted, these demonic beasts want to close the Tianmen secret realm and kill all of us. Stop them. Previously, Su Yuechan had given Bai Yu a pile of earth-rank spirit talismans, including 2,000-mile sound transmission talismans. Bai Yu had used them to explain the situation to Su Yuechan and ask her to come and help. Now, Su Yuechan had finally arrived with reinforcements. She let out a sharp cry, and the moon-glow pearl in her hand shone brightly. She took the lead and charged at the Fox Immortal Elder. The other Su Nu sect disciples also engaged the various beast kings and generals. For a time, a great battle ensued, shaking the heavens and earth. The Fox Immortal Elder split into three, actually pushing Su Yuechan back. Fortunately, Su Yuechan had numerous spirit talismans, and by throwing one earth-rank talisman after another, she barely managed to hold him off. Su Yuechan was secretly shocked. Although her spiritual energy was suppressed by the Tianmen's secret realm and was not at the level of a Foundation establishment cultivator, her overall strength was definitely at that level. Yet, this fox's strength was even a notch above hers. She wondered about the origin of this demonic fox. But in the end, the Su Nu sect side managed to tie down the Fox Immortal Elder and his beast kings. And Bai Yu was getting closer and closer to the White Life Gate Formation I. It seemed Bai Yu was about to restart the Grand Formation, kill all the pill beasts, and secure victory for the human race. Suddenly, the Fox Immortal Elder shouted, "Gu Tianyuan, I know it's you. Let's make a deal. Kill that traitor and close the Tianmen's secret realm. We'll split the spoils 4-6. Suddenly, dozens of feet in front of Bai Yu, a figure appeared. It was the black-robed leader. He had, unnoticed by everyone, silently blocked Bai Yu's path. The blood demon blade in his hand erupted with a bloody light as he slashed at Bai Yu. A foul, Xing red blade light cut through the air and instantly struck Bai Yu. A dazzling bloody light swallowed Bai Yu's body. The black-robed leader suddenly burst into action.
The blood demon blade in his hand shone brightly. The blade light like a tide, the blood color like a sea. Vaguely, the cry of ghosts could be heard.
This blood demon blade was a replica of a famous demonic Dao treasure, the blood-transforming blade. After absorbing essence and blood, this blade could unleash devastating energy. The blood demon blade in the leader's hand had absorbed the essence and blood of over 100 cultivators and demonic beasts, its power already comparable to the full-strength blow of an early-stage Foundation establishment cultivator.
He swung the blade, unleashing a blood-red blade light.
The blade light was as fast as lightning, instantly crossing dozens of feet and striking Bai Yu directly. Bai Yu was swallowed by the endless bloodlight, his fate unknown. The Heavenly Gate secret key also flew from his hand. The Su Nu sect cultivators were shocked. No one had expected this black-robed man to suddenly appear and attack Bai Yu. Even if the black-robed man was a demonic cultivator, he was still human. Once the fox closed the Tianmen's secret realm, all humans would face certain death, regardless of whether they were righteous or demonic. Who would have thought this group of demonic cultivators would be so insane? At this moment, the black-robed leader shot forward, snatched the secret key, and said to the Fox Immortal Elder, 3-7.
You get 3, he gets 7.
The Fox Immortal Elder said grimly, deal. Quickly, insert the key into the death gate. On the other side, Su Yuechan's eyes were filled with disbelief.
Brother Yu is dead?
She had waited 50 years to finally be with Bai Yu, only to see him killed like this. She gritted her teeth, her eyes red, and was about to use a pair of earth-rank talismans to seek revenge on the black-robed man. Just then, a figure flew out from the bloodlight. The clothes on Bai Yu's chest were torn, revealing a layer of silver inner armor, the supreme-grade artifact, the silver thread armor. The armor also had a large gash, revealing the golden skin underneath. The black-robed leader's slash had hit Bai Yu, and his defensive artifact, the phoenix-patterned bone mirror, had automatically protected him but was heavily corrupted by the bloodlight, its spiritual energy greatly damaged. His other supreme-grade artifact, the silver thread armor, was also broken. A single slash had consecutively broken 2 supreme-grade artifacts. The power of this demonic blade was evident. Fortunately, Bai Yu had a third layer of protection, his master horizontal training technique, the earth-rank, low-grade iron bone golden body. The black-robed leader was also shocked. He couldn't believe a mere chi refinement cultivator could withstand a blow from the blood demon blade. Boy, you've surprised me. But it's all over. The Heavenly Gate key is in my hands. You 6 sex cultivators are all going to die.
Azura 9 fien, Azura key information, stop this kid.
A group of black-robed cultivators charged at Bai Yu. Among them, 9 cultivators joined forces, raising 9 Azura bloodblades, their power rivaling that of the leader. With the 9 of them working together, they were another Foundation establishment-level threat. The black-robed cultivators charged at Bai Yu, while the leader leaped towards the death gate of the yin-yang diagram. Even if Bai Yu could defeat the group of black-robed men, it would be too late. Just then, another spatial fluctuation occurred in the hall. A black dog leading Lu Beichen and other Lei Yang sect disciples appeared. Feng Tiandu, the Yen sisters, and other skilled cultivators were all there. Bai Yu never relied on just one backup plan. On one hand, he had used the sound transmission talisman to notify Su Yuechan. On the other, he had sent Lao Mo to find Lu Beichen and Shi Jian. Now, the Lei Yang sect disciples had finally arrived. Bai Yu didn't have time to waste. He shouted, Fellow senior brothers, stop that group of black-robed men, or we'll all die here. Feng Tiandu replied, don't worry, junior brother, leave it to us.
Treasure talisman, timbre rouroir.
A shimmering golden talisman paper appeared in his palm, of extraordinary quality.
A treasure talisman.
This was a